Welcome everybody to the Jim Masters Show Live. How are you and you and you and you? Hope you guys are doing well. We toast you and welcome to a Sunday afternoon edition of the Jim Masters Show Live with a nice cup of hot Java, some coffee. So whatever you're having, joining us with your drink of choice, your beverage of choice, or maybe it's a libation on a Sunday. Maybe you're still celebrating Thanksgiving holiday weekend. We hope you had a great holiday weekend, and it's great to have all of you with us. This is your host, Jim Masters. I'm a professional television and radio personality, presenter, host, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover artist, and narrator. And we started this show over 30 plus weeks ago as an entertainment lifestyle talk show series, bringing back the lost art of conversation with great entertainment, special features, great guests on location segments. And we talk about just about everything from inspiration and positivity to health, wellness, sports, science, comedy, food, culinary arts, and music, television, film, Broadway, Hollywood, and then some. With all of our levities. This is Levity Hall, as everybody calls it. Our viewers call themselves the levities because it's a word I stumbled on. So this is Levity Hall. You guys call me Mr. Levity, and it's so great to see all of you. How is everybody doing today? All of your friends are here. The cast of characters are here, including George Burns. He is here watching and enjoying as well. And we'll show the rest of the cast of characters later on. It is Sunday. It's 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific right now. And we normally do the show at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We have an earlier time today, and we have amazing guests. Grammy-nominated pianist Allison Franzetti is here. And also, we have Grammy Award-winning composer Carlos Franzetti here as well, live and direct from their home in New Jersey. We're very excited to have them here. We've got an afternoon of spectacular music, inspiring conversation, and so much more in store for all our viewers. So how is everybody today? Let's check in with some of our viewers from around the world and our levities, as we call everybody. Fortnite Gaming is watching on our YouTube channel. Raphael, good to see you there on the YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. How are you today, Fortnite Gaming? Hope you're doing well. And thanks for the nice hello. Also on our YouTube channel today is Christine Clifton. Nice to see you, Christine. Hope you're doing well. And she says, greetings, Jim and levities. We welcome pianist Allison Franzetti and composer Carlos Franzetti to the show today. Looking forward to a great conversation and music in Levity Hall. That's right. This is Levity Hall on the Jim Masters Show page on YouTube at Jim Masters TV, and also on our Facebook page. And, you know, if you guys ever want to post and have conversations on our Facebook page at Jim Masters TV, you want to talk about the show, you want to talk about recipes, you want to talk about anything, you can have conversations on our page. We love that. As we are building our Facebook page presence at Jim Masters TV, we encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV and like our Facebook page. That helps our show. Many of you say, how can we help the show? How can we spread the word? What can we do? Liking the Facebook page, Jim Masters TV, helps big time. Subscribing to our YouTube channel that we're building helps big time as well. And of course, sharing the links and tagging everybody and joining us as often as you can. Even if you're not with us live, everything is archived on our pages as well. Good to see you, Christine in North Carolina. From Florida, Mary Bishop. Hello, Jim and levities. Welcome, Allison and Carlos. Nice to see you, Mary. Good afternoon, levities. It's wonderful to be in Levity Hall with all of you, ready for another amazing show. Just want to let you know we've got some really cool things that we're going to be doing with levities, Levity Hall, and so much more. We're working on all of that, as well as I know you guys want items from the show as well, hats, t-shirts, all that fun stuff. So we want to do it right. So we are pacing ourselves, and we're creating some really cool things that we're going to roll out soon. So stick with us. We do the shows just about 7 days a week. So we're focused on the content and the shows right now and doing quality, exciting, fun shows for you. But some of those other things that you want along with the show, we are building and creating behind the scenes. Christopher Joseph says, hello, Jim Masters levities. And to Allison and Carlos, welcoming as well. That's right. Lights, levity. You got it, my friend. Sherry says, welcome to Levity Hall, Allison and Carlos. We're so excited you're here today. And hello, Jim and levities from Claudia and Marcia. Hello, everyone, as well. Yes, we are starting the show. Juanita is here. Nice to see you, Juanita. Hello, Jim, and all the lovely lovities. Good to see you in South Africa. And I know you're working on that special Christmas thing for, I think, is it your church? That's a beautiful thing you're doing, Juanita. And Wozniak, wonderful Sunday afternoon, everyone. We are going to be opening up that package tonight, and thank you for that package. I really, really appreciate that. We're going to do a thank you tomorrow on our show, so stay tuned. You sent this incredible package that we're going to open up later. Thank you, Ann. You're a wonderful person. Linda Odell, good afternoon, Mr. Levity. Good afternoon, Lovities. She is in Florida. Good to see you too, Linda. And Renee is here. Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday to you, Renee, who's watching in Iowa. That's right. And let's see, what else? Oh, yes, Marilyn. Good afternoon, Jim and our lovelies. Nice to see you there as well. In Wichita, Kansas, I'm having pumpkin pie and ginger ale, yum food. Jennifer Barry is Zen in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Nice, nice, nice. Lots of comments. Yes. Hi, Jim, Merlin in Canada. Everyone, forgot it was on YouTube. Yeah, we're on YouTube and Facebook today. Good to see you as well. And Willie is here as well. Welcome to Willie, watching in the Netherlands. Good to see you, Willie. And Sharon DeMary in Connecticut says, hi, happy Sunday afternoon, everyone. Yeah. Jimbo, you're YouTube's newest levity star. Wow. Tell that to YouTube, please. They'll put us high in the rankings. That's what it's all about. Pamela Perkle is here. Happy Sunday, everyone. Good to see you, Pamela. And June Rachelson Aspa, our dear friend. Hi, all. Good to see you, June. Linda Odell says, love your hat. Handsome as always, Mr. Levity. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Linda. Very kind of you. And nice, nice, nice. Lovities. Lovities. Good evening to one and all. Getting dinner for my fam. Have a great evening. Thank you very much, Karen Campbell Green in Nova Scotia. And Kathleen Walker's here from New York City. And good to see you, Kathleen. Linda, I tell everybody about the Jim Masters show. Great. We appreciate that. That really helps. That really, really helps. So good to see you guys. And cold day in Missouri. And Kathy Short, happy Sunday, Jim and lovely family. It's good to be back. And Juanita says, yes, we had the Christmas show earlier, some serious talent in our little town. Maybe we can have them on our show as guests. And everybody is here and then some, and more people joining us as we go through our show. We're going to be welcoming right now our very special guests. We're so excited to welcome this amazing powerhouse musical duo. That's really, really what they are. They are so tremendous at what they do. We're so excited to have them here. This is Carlos and Allison. Let me first tell you about Allison. 2014 and 2018 Latin Grammy nominee for Best Classical Album and 2018 Grammy nominee for Best Instrumental Soloist without Orchestra. Pianist Allison Brewster Franzetti has received international acclaim from critics and audiences alike for a stunning virtuosity and musicality, both as a soloist and chamber musician. Her performances include the live Latin Grammy Awards television broadcast, the Grammy Awards classical broadcast as well. And I want to tell you also about Carlos, who happens to be her husband, and they are, yes, in the same house, just in different rooms because they have different pieces of equipment in front of them, from symphonies to big band jazz, from chamber works to Latin American music and film scores. Carlos Franzetti has no limits. Winner of his first Grammy Award in 2015 as producer of the CD Tangos, Carlos Franzetti has previously won 5 Latin Grammy Awards. 2015 for Best Classical Composition, 2014 as producer for Best Tango Album, and 2013 for Best Classical Composition, having previously been a 2012 nominee in the same category. 2009 for Best Instrumental Album, having been a 2007 nominee in the same category, and in 2001 for Best Tango Album. He was a 2018 Latin Grammy nominee for the Best Classical Album, and 2014 Latin Grammy nominee, that is, in the category of Best Tango Album, and 2012 Grammy nominee in the category of Best Instrumental Arrangement, and 2006 Grammy nominee in the category of Best Classical Contemporary Composition, and a double 2003 Grammy nominee Do you get the point? He is a Grammy winner and a Grammy nominee. And Allison has wonderful nominations as well. Let's welcome them both to our show. It's our very special pleasure to welcome Allison and Carlos. Welcome, gang. How are you? And congratulations on all of these incredible accolades.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here. The Grammys.
That's what it is. The levities and the Grammys. That's right, exactly.
Right.
That's cute. Now you know we've been married for almost 27 years.
Okay, 27. That alone deserves an award, right?
You bet on that. So I was composing this tune as I was watching the beginning of the show. Which is that's your song, right?
I love that. I love that. I know. Everybody loves our levity thing. So we're working on some cool things with that. I just want to show you some of the levity now. I warned you early, and when I say warned, it's a beautiful and positive warning.
Right.
I should say alerted you. Warning sounds
This
scary.
is true.
That levity is going to be showered on you with our extraordinary viewers from around the world. We have an international audience here every single day that we're on. And sometimes we do 2 shows a day. It's really amazing. And here comes some of that levity. Oh, I like that. What instrument was that you were playing?
This is a keyboard here that...
Now, is that a composition of anything, or did you just create that?
That's what it was at the beginning of the show.
Yes, it was. You have a good ear. I like that.
Yeah, he does.
It sounds great on that instrument. It sounds.
You can do that in the piano, Allison.
It sounds very.
I could, but that's okay. But he's at one of our work. We have several different workstations in our house, so he's at one of them. And then I'm at the actual piano one of them because I'm set up to teach here. And then Carlos has another workstation upstairs that he uses. And then our daughter moved back from Los Angeles, so she has a workstation. So we've got,
the workstations are, is it all of the, you have the instruments, but you have also all of the software, hardware, computer.
That's correct.
It's all there.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Carlos, there's one room where he has one of the computers and he's got a Kurzweil keyboard that is not movable that he uses to work in. The one he's on downstairs is actually my workstation. And so that keyboard can travel. And so that's my workstation. Then the piano, of course, we both use it. Depending on what's going on and whether one of us may be teaching or practicing on an actual piano, or sometimes when we play together, we'll bring up one of our keyboards and one of us will be on the keyboard, one of us will be over here. So, and then our daughter is a graphic designer. So her work is completely different than ours.
Very nice. Very nice. So there's a lot of creativity amongst everybody there, huh?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, well, that's how this show was created. As I mentioned in my work in television, radio, and everything else, this show we created, I believe it's almost 35 weeks ago now. And, it's really interesting. The viewers, the levities are really keeping track of that. I said 30 weeks and they're like, no. We're going on 35 weeks nonstop daily shows, Jim. I'm like,
and you have viewers from South Africa, the Netherlands, Iowa, all over. Brazil, Argentina, Scotland, Switzerland, Australia. Christopher Joseph, here comes some of that levity. Christopher Joseph says, much talent on the big screen. Absolutely. Nice. There you go. And
that's so nice.
Yeah, and we have much more for you guys to see.
Oh, that's great. So, Jim, I take it you never sleep.
That's probably very, very close to accurate. I would say it's minimal. I know it really probably should be a lot more, but It's you know where I sleep well? My Aunt Gertie, my mother's oldest sister of the 16. My mother's the youngest of 16, as I was telling you.
Right, yeah.
Oldest is Gertrude or Gertie, or Aunt Gertie. She used to say, and has always said, that she sleeps better when she's at somebody else's house. Like when they would come to visit our house, you know, our aunt and uncle and cousins, and they would be at our house or somewhere other than actually the house, slept better, because I think it's because you don't have all the responsibility. You're usually away from everything. You're off. It's, you know what I mean? When you're home, there's the plumbing that you got to fix. There's the lawn that has to be mowed. There's the wash that has to be done, and the dishes, and all this, the phone ringing, all these things. But when you go away, you can leave some of that, not all of it, with this world of social media and cell phones. It's like we're all on-call doctors now. We can't hide from anywhere now, because, you know, you could be at a funeral and people want you to respond to a text immediately or an email, and like, I'm at a funeral right now. Can you give me an hour? Right. You know, it's a constant 24/7. So when we go to see family in Florida, which we're seeing about hopefully being able to do for Christmas, because right now, if we go anywhere out of where we are, there's a 14-day quarantine coming back.
Right, of course there is.
Well, I think New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, the Northeast.
That's right. Absolutely, yes.
Because we've been doing so well early, because we, you know, took charge early. So any of the other
were.
So, but I want to show you, both have wonderful ears. June Rachelson Aspa. But June, how can you see that? They have headphones on. There's the ears. Linda Odell, shout out from St. Augustine, Florida. Yeah. And Karen in Nova Scotia asks, I ask him that question a lot. Do you ever sleep, Jim? LOL. Right. Merlin representing Canada. Karen says, I love creative minds. I myself do not have a creative mind, but I love those who do and share the creative minds with us. Christine in North Carolina. Welcome, Allison and Carlos, to the Jim Masters Show live. Happy you could join us. You're now lovities. You are lovities. So I know it feels good to be nominated and win Grammys and all these other incredible things, but there's nothing like getting a lovity from the Jim Masters Show, wouldn't you say?
Well, I have a question for you, Jim. I mean, you have 16 aunts and uncles from your mother's side. How many cousins do you have?
There's about 500.
And that's on a slow day.
That's on a slow day. In other words, there is a town. Right? Yeah. I mean, at least a village.
I hate to think what your Christmas shopping list must be.
Right. Just imagine gatherings, you know.
And as I mentioned, some of the relatives did some digging, and we found 100 more relatives in Canada, in Nebraska, who settled a town in a mountain.
And at gatherings, they all have to bring their names here, you know, like a little car.
Well, good thing they didn't name them all like George Foreman did. George 1.
I know, George 1, George 2, George 3, yeah.
Oh, my God. Although I am the 5th James, and that goes back to Yorkshire, England on my father's side, because people say, did you make up the name Jim Masters? You're not really Jim Masters. And I'm like, yes, I am. Goes back to England. Marcia says, when you enter Levity Hall, you're now a lovity. So that's
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go back to your family then. Were some of you you're Jim, so was someone Jamie, or was someone Jimmy, or what did you do?
So we're all James, born James. Every single one of us, the birth name, and we're actually James.
I got that.
And let's see. Growing up as a kid, I was Jimmy. Born James, but called Jimmy, because my father, since we're all James, my father has used Jim, more casual, and so you'd hear Jim, so Jimmy. But now as I've accelerated, I'm Jim. Professionally, I'm Jim on television and radio, Jim, even though I'm technically born James. But there are cousins and family who still say cousin Jimmy. Sometimes my mother, you know, if we're together, will call out in a store, Jimmy. And I'm like, shh, They don't know me as Jimmy. They'll think of me as a 12-year-old kid, Jimmy. But actually, when I hear that, it's sort of an affectionate now. It's an affectionate term because to differentiate Jimmy for me, Jim for dad, but all of us, technically James. Nobody's that I have a cousin Jamie, but totally unrelated as far as this James line. Right. Yeah, nobody has said Jamie, but yeah, Jim, Jimmy, or James. So I say to people, you can call me James, you can call me Jim, you can call me Jimmy. Just don't call me late for supper.
Well, we'll call you Jim, which is the official name.
Well, Carlos is the second of three, right? Carlos, I mean, it was your father, then you, and
my grandfather,
and oh, your grandfather too.
Right, my grandfather too, and my and my son is Carlos too. Yeah. So we're like I'm Carlos the third.
Carlos the third, and I'm the fifth, and James Edward sounds very English, huh?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, English, Irish. I can honestly say there's no other me, no other Allisons in my family.
2 L's too. And
2 L's. All is on. That's how you remember how to spell.
That. I like that. Bobby Horowitz is
but with one.
She says, I'm thrilled to be here. These two lift my heart. Bobby Horowitz, the wonderful Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
I haven't announced it yet, but she's a guest on our show in about a week. Not this week, but the week after. Bobby Horowitz.
You know that.
Going to be joining us on the show. That's right. Merlin in Canada. Speaking of Canada, welcome you two to Levity Hall. Now you two are Levities. Karen in Nova Scotia, 27 years, while 32 for my hubs. Oh my God, seems like so long. LOL. That is fun. Sherry says, love the Grammaties. That's so much fun.
Oh, that's very cute. Yes, that was
Mary says, welcome Allison and Carlos. And she's got the 2 L's in there for good measure.
Yes.
She's in Florida. Ann Wozniak, welcome Allison and Carlos. Renee in Iowa, welcome. Kathy Short, welcome Allison and Carlos. Marilyn in Wichita, Kansas, welcome Allison and Carlos to Levity Hall. Campbell, Karen Campbell Green, welcome. Levity. Linda Odell, welcome to Levity Hall, Allison and Carlos. Now you are both Levities. Juanita in South Africa, welcome to the show, Allison and Carlos. Hello. Jennifer Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hey, Allison and Carlos, happy holidays. Jen is
Zen. Oh, that's cute.
And so Kathleen Walker,
I guess you have a song now. Oh, wouldn't it be Levity?
Wouldn't it be Levity? Levity is in the air and on the air on the Jim Masters Show live. We're working on shoots. We're working on now talking
shoes and rice.
Yeah, I'm talking television shoots and stuff. We're working on mugs and shirts and all kinds of things that people are asking for. I'm thrilled Allison and Carlos are on today. Thank you so much, June. We love you, June Moon. Bobby says, I went from Barbara to Bobby. That's right. Barbara. So we're talking about the James, Jim, Jimmy, Carlos, all these names. Were you ever called Allison at all?
Almost never. My mother hated it. And so, no, I had a different nickname growing up, but because I hate that, I won't say what it was. But we'll just leave it. She will actually call me Lily occasionally, and which I quite like, but I wouldn't want anyone else to call because that's just for my mom.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. No, really, no. I wasn't called Allie, and anyone who called me Al, I just stopped it because I am not a boy. So no. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, from Barbara to Bobby. But Carlos is Carlos. I mean, we don't nickname you particularly, right, honey?
I never had any. Well, they used to call me when I was a kid in Argentina, Carlitos, which is, it's supposed to be something for sure, but I mean, it makes it longer instead of being Chuck or Charlie. It's Carlitos, Carlos. But that disappeared when I became Carlos and my son became Carlitos, from a previous memory. Yeah.
That makes sense. And the Franzetti, is that Italian? Or
it's Italian. And I have an interest in mixed too. I have Italian, basically a 50. I did the DNA, 54%, then 20% kind of Celtic from Spain, and then 13% from Ireland and Northern Ireland, actually, and in England, another 3% from England. So I have a big combination of, including 5% of Jewish, German Jewish. So I have what you call the whole map, and including
you know what you sound like, Carlos?
What?
American.
I know. I mean, basically, and 2% Native American. So I mean, I have one ancestor who traveled a lot and fool around a lot.
Right. But remember, he's originally from Buenos Aires.
Yes, from Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
But my family, well, they all went there in the 19th century, in the middle of the 19th century. And from the Irish side is Barrett. So
okay, yeah,
it's not O'Neill or
right. You're O'Brien or
whatever, but it's from basically
a lot of Germans went to Argentina,
yes,
right? And
we
settled
know that.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Before and after, yes.
Yes, right, exactly. Before, after, and during. Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Oh boy!
How many times have people asked you to play that one? Don't cry for me.
Well, a lot of people, but I mean, it's not a song. I like the look. I like the show. I liked, I saw it, and but it's not a song that I like.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't sound. I prefer Cole Porter.
Yours, I've had to play it so many times.
Bobby Horowitz says, "What's in a name?" William Shakespeare didn't want his characters to worry about it. That's a great one. We love that comment, Bobby.
Good. That's really good.
I was reading a very interesting biography on Charles Jackson, the author of The Lost Weekend. And there was a quote from him that in a quiz show or something like that, they asked him, Lady Macbeth was a mother? And most of the people couldn't respond, but he did. And yes, apparently Lady Macbeth had been a mother. So, which is, an interesting trivia thing on the Sunday afternoon when you have nothing else to say. Somebody, Bobby Horowitz mentioned Shakespeare. So
that is funny. That
is funny. The memories of Macbeth.
Well, let's go back in time a little bit so people can learn more about you. I'll start with you, Allison. Early on in your youth, what were some of those early inspirations that pointed you in the direction of music and the creative arts? Were you inspired by family, mentors? Were there other musical folks within your reach as a child? Tell us about that.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yes, all about
Next on Carlos.
No. My grandmother taught piano for 55 years, and she actually went to college. It was Ithaca Conservatory, was part of Cornell University when she went, and at a time when women really didn't go to college. So she was a pianist. My mother, if she had the training and the nerve, would have made an excellent professional singer. My grandfather was descended from a line of cantors in Russia. Well, what was called Russia, it's probably more like Belarus, Ukraine. And so my parents got a piano. I started just actually figuring out how to play. I never did the baby stuff of banging at it. I figured the thing out. I have perfect pitch. So by the time I was 4, I could play anything that I heard. I could play it in any key I wanted. I could change it. I could sing whatever I heard if I wanted to. And my grandmother decided that I needed someone better than her to teach me. So she and my mom took me for a consultation to Juilliard when I was 6. And we go from there. So I studied at Juilliard, then I studied for my and then I studied at Manhattan School of Music pre-college, got my bachelor's at Manhattan School, my master's at Juilliard, and then my doctorate much later, actually, at Rutgers. So I really do not remember when I started. I have no conscious memory of when I started. I have no conscious memory of not playing. It just always was. And I would say it goes from there. And how Carlos and I met, and then he'll explain his background too. Carlos and I met a year after I moved back to the United States. I'd been living in London and studying in London. I came back and I joined a chamber group that was saxophone, cello, and piano. There really was no music for that combination. The cellist had met Carlos at the Argentine consulate at a reception for a group Carlos had called Orquesta Nova. When we met with Carlos a couple months later, Carlos's first wife had unexpectedly passed. And we met with Carlos just for him to write for us. And the saxophonist of the group decided that Carlos was perfect for me. So I became the trio contact. Oh, side note, when I met Carlos and I started to introduce myself, I literally forgot my name. I went, hi, my name is Allison. Hi, I forgot my name. Because I knew at that moment that my life had changed, but I had no idea what.
Wow.
I don't think Carlos did not have that same reaction.
Now, Carlos, here's the true test. Does your story match hers?
Well, we're the opposite in the sense that, like that Gordon Jenkins song that Sinatra sang. She was Boston, I was Vegas. Yeah. She was Crepes who said I was pie. She was Junior League, I was Dodgers. And,
tomato.
Exactly. No, I mean, I'm a kindergarten dropout. I mean, it's I never went through all
KD
that.
For short.
She has a PhD and whatever. And but I mean, I've been in music. That's the truth. I mean, I was a horrible student, and although I went to a very good school, and the funny thing is, one of my teachers. I went to a Catholic school, a Jesuit school, and one of my teachers was Jorge Bergoglio, who's now the Pope, and Pope Francesco. So, but as I said, my interest was in music, and in my family, nobody was a musician. My father was a doctor, MD in the Army. My mother liked music, but she couldn't play or anything like that. My grandmother from my mother's side, Emma Barrett, she could play piano and she liked music, but it was something that I don't know how I got so involved in music and in everything from singing to playing to composing. And I love jazz, and that's one of the reasons, or the main reason why I moved to the United States. And in classical music too, Ravel, Debussy, Stravinsky, and Bartok, and the modern one, Penderecki, Ligeti. And
but what Carlos isn't telling you is that he was a child star.
Well, I was singing. I was trying to do a lot of things, which was fun for my family to see. My father, as I said, was the full rank of colonel, doctor in the Army. And they liked the fact that I could sing, so I was in some TV programs and things. But when they saw that the thing was serious, they decided that, no, this is not what we want. I mean, we want him to be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever. So, but, by the time I was 18, 19, I was doing shows and making a lot of money and writing arrangements. And everybody was, thank God the news were good about the reviews and things like that, and talking about this young talent and whatever. Anyway, by the time I was 21, I was booked to go and be the music director of a publishing firm in Mexico. And I said, well, that's close to the United States, so that I can go, either way. And I worked in Mexico for a while, and then I moved to the States, and I became an American citizen. I've been here for about 45 years now. So that's my story.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. And then as far as you guys sort of like pairing up together, tell us more about that sort of wonderful collaboration and that how that happened as far as musically and in terms of, teaming up in the musical world and creative arts.
Well, that was a good thing that we knew each other musically first, and we liked each other musically, because it would have been terrible to be married and not like what the other one does. And but it was music, and we had mutual respect for what we were both doing. And I have to say that on her second visit to my apartment, Allison paid me, for the arrangement.
For the arrangement. Let's get this clear here.
Right. I better rephrase that. Yeah.
For the music.
I know the levities are going to ask, what exactly was that arrangement?
Well, it's a musical arrangement, which is that piece. Yeah.
See?
Nice. It's called Serenata.
Never played it, Carlos.
It's always she wants to have the last word, free total.
And I get it. Anyway.
Yeah. But the other one, she surprised me. She said, I agree with you. I didn't know what to do after that. But anyway, we knew each other musically first. And yes, when we met, I played the piano concerto and movement of a piano concerto for Allison that I have done on the computer. And I said, so what do you think of this? And she said, well, any pianist will kill to play this. So I said, well, this is my kind of girl. And they asked me to write this composition for them, orchestrated for soprano, sax, cello, and piano, and I did. And that's when Allison came, and they all chipped in, and Allison wrote me a check and paid me for what I'm trying to say for that she appreciated. What? You're going to interrupt me now?
No, but Carlos said to me, don't you want to try the piece first? And I said, no, I trust you. Because I'd heard enough of his music at this point, and we knew so many of the same people in common, although our paths had never crossed. So I knew his reputation. I'd heard a lot of his music at this point. And I have a now deceased cousin who had known Carlos before I ever met him and had worked with Carlos. And so I had a lot of
it was very Carl Jung, synchronicity, or that there were, I knew Allison's cousin's husband in Patagonia in Argentina before I met Allison. And I didn't know that who was he? I mean, he was a wonderful drummer playing with Ray Barreto. That's how but at that time, my first wife was alive. And then when I moved, I was in New York, Ed Uribe, that's his name, asked me to do some demos for him, which are demonstration piano things for a book on percussion that he was writing. And then I met Allison's cousin but I had no idea who Allison was or whatever. So after we met with Allison, and after my first wife died, and we started seeing each other first musically, and then friendlier, and then whatever, and Allison,
and then a lot friendlier.
Right. Well, yeah, and you were at a reunion with your cousin, and you said, "Well, I'm dating a musician," and he asked, "Who?" And you said, "Well, Carlos Franzetti," and he asked you, so what happened to his wife? And you say, well, don't you know what happened? But this is the funny thing and this is a first cousin, so we were in a way kind of, and that's why I mentioned Carl Jung. We were in a way destined to meet.
Well, there's more to it too. The cellist from the group now the cellist is married to someone that I share relatives with, but we're actually not directly related, but we grew up as if we were. So the cellist and I, to this day, refer to each other as being cousins, although we are not directly at all. And that was all because we met at this family.
Yeah, she also has 500 cousins.
I have a lot of cousins, not like you do, but a lot. And so it's this. So yes, the synchronicity was from a couple different family type of things, and there you have it. So Carlos and I were musical colleagues first, because I was the trio contact, and the relationship was strictly business at first until it wasn't. Right. And which happened relatively quickly.
Well, I was born into, my wife had recently passed, so I wasn't like looking for to get into any kind of relationship or anything like that. I mean, so,
and I wasn't either at the
Right.
time. And I had basically said to Carlos, very much just above board as a friend, I said, look, I know you must have lots of friends, but you know, if you ever want to have dinner, you want to go to a movie or something like that, I'd love to join you. That would be great. And that's exactly what I meant. And then we had a rehearsal. I lived on the Upper West Side at the time. We had a rehearsal, trio rehearsal. Carlos came to my apartment, and Leo, the cellist, turned to me after Carlos left, and he said, you know, he likes you. And I said, oh, he likes all of us. And he turned to me with this big Cheshire cat grin and says, no, he likes you. And I was like, oh, really? And then we did a concert. This was about a week or so before we started dating. There's a concert. Was it? I think it was 3rd Street School. And
yeah.
My dad was able to come. My mom couldn't. My dad came and he kept saying, who's this man who keeps staring at you? And I said, oh, that's Carlos Franzetti. He's one of the composers that we're performing today. And the very cousins that we were talking about, Ed Uribe and his ex-wife, Robin, and may he rest in peace. They were at that concert out afterwards. So that's when we were not a couple at all at this point. We were friends until about 10 days later. And then we realized we might be more than friends. We went on our first date, right, Carlos? Yeah. So we went on our first date.
You could hear him say, yes, it went through the walls in the house, right?
Oh, yeah.
How far away from you?
We're about 20 feet away.
We're probably more than that. There's a wall separating me from the kitchen. You go down about 3 or 4 stairs to another end of another room, and that's where Carlos is.
Right.
So, yeah, we could hear each other. Yes.
You know, it's funny. My grandmother, as well as grandmother Esther on my mother's side, and also Aunt Gertie, my mother's oldest sister, both within their houses. I mean, I almost feel like, Allison, that room, I'm looking at their homes, because they always have that sort of kitty corner china cabinet built into the wall that you have.
That is an original with the house.
With the shades to the blinds, that whole thing is almost exact with the pictures. That's original to the house, right? Same thing
never
with the house.
That cabinet, absolutely.
Never changed. It's one of the few things that we have not changed at all. We
you don't see that anymore. They don't really build it into the corner like that. And they had
that. And it's frankly handy.
We changed the front door because it was the kind of door that you see on ba 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 ba. Lucy, I'm home. You know, that kind of in 1950.
Carlos, you got lots of explaining to do.
Oh, he even says things like that sometimes.
Yeah, you have some explaining to do. But anyway,
Babaloo.
Oh, Karen, that's so sweet.
Can you do Babaloo?
Babaloo. I love the show. I mean, it was one of those shows that you know what is going to happen with the vitamins and whatever. I mean, and you see it over and over and over. Yes.
And it's still funny.
And it's still fun. That's because they did, and it was brilliant writing. The shows that last, the movies that last, the music that lasts, the television shows that last, any of the things that last are things that have a little bit, sometimes more of a simplistic, relatable, non-dated, evergreen sense to it. A lot of the things like on I Love Lucy and shows like that.
You know what I'm watching constantly? Columbo.
Oh, Columbo. These are the kinds of things that are relatable that people can, whether it's 1950, 1980, or 2020, everybody goes through these issues that they go through. So it's really the understanding of the human condition and the trials and tribulations. And so that's why these things. So Columbo, you're Peter Falk, huh?
Just one more thing, man, if you don't mind. I love him. And the music of that show is fantastic. And I was watching an early episode yesterday, directed by Steven Spielberg. So they had all this great talent on the show, like musicians, composers, actors, and actresses who were famous, like Lawrence Harvey and and who was the other one? Robert Culp and amazing actors, amazing actresses, and as I said, the music was done by when those shows had music, when those shows had a large orchestra and the composers were scoring to the picture, and rather than just putting a drone there, like.
Yeah, now there's no more. I've had this conversation with a lot of people too, off the air. You used to love the television show theme as much as the show,
and recognize them. You were in the next room, and you say, "Oh, Manic's starting,"
or "I Dream of Jeannie" came on. Dun,
right.
dun, 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 dun. There's the Genie bottle.
Yes.
There was a theme that was before that one. Do you remember that one? Something like that.
What Gilligan's Island too. On a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. Yeah, cool stuff. I love it. See? On the spot productions.
What I found myself remembering this morning was earlier jingles. And because Carlos used to be in jingles, and how we used to be able to sing them all.
Yes,
and I'm trying to, and that I can still remember.
Did you ever, either of you ever get into that world at all of
Carlos
jingles?
I worked for 30 years in advertising.
Yeah.
So I worked for J. Walter Thompson, all the big companies, and I was doing from AT&T, reach out and touch someone.
Yes.
That, Pepsi, whatever I did. I did the IRS, I did U.S. Army, all kinds of things, Continental Airlines. And it was wonderful because
Did you do the one? I remember one. I can hear it, and I think I have it on cassette because I was taping something else years ago, and then this came around. Were people helping people? IRS.
Yes.
That was.
Were people helping people? IRS.
Yes, which made them sound so friendly and approachable.
I know, and we had
very well done.
Let me tell you this: we had a bunch of people. The clients would always go there, So and we had the musicians, playing and cracking jokes like, "Is this a cash date?" Yeah, give us your social security number.
That's right.
Those guys, they have no sense of humor,
Right, exactly. Yeah.
They're like, you have to be like, this is so happy. So for people, it was like, for people helping people, IRS.
I remember that. Yes, right. Yes. It was, and that was like the tag at the end of the
at the end of you pay your taxes, you do.
Well, that's the thing. Whatever. We've been talking about that a lot on the show with folks too, and I'm a huge TV theme person, film score person, even television news themes as well, which used to be extended with credits rolling for 2 minutes. Production music, working in television, radio, production music, themes, and jingles that television stations, radio stations, and TV networks used to roll out. Like right around, I think, August, September, the networks would roll out these major, expensive, elaborate campaigns that people like Bob Klein of Klein or Frank Gehry of Gehry Communications and all these others would create, like We've Got the Touch on CBS, or Coming Along with ABC, NBC there, Be There. And they would be elaborate, expensive musical jingles that you could sing to and feel familiar with. And you'd see all the stars and personalities from the networks and all these graphics and logos. And it would be a new campaign and branding and image campaign they would do every year and spend millions on. And then the radio stations had their jingles, and they would bring in the Ron Hicklin Singers and all these other singing choral groups that were known for singing jingles, and they would sing local station jingles and all. And they've pretty much done away with all of that, I think, because of, like you say, the expense of musicians and all of it, putting it together. Everything is now synthesized and just done out of one computer, and
one singer sometimes, one percussionist and one singer doing like something, like some sound from, but I mean, you don't have that.
Yeah, couple.
Which was so recognizable, or things like tempers of bum 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 bum.
Right.
And that takes about 2 seconds, but right away you knew where you were.
There's a couple out there. There's a few here and there that exist now.
And they keep, yes.
Like Honda is the 2 keys, like in the beginning.
Right.
It's a piano thing, and then it's a Honda commercial. But generally, when you heard themes, you knew what the show was. Of course, like the Tonight Show, which we talked about previously on this show. Now, and you know who wrote it, right?
Right. No.
Originally, the Tonight Show was Steve Allen, then Jack Carr. Then when Johnny Carson was brought in, Johnny Carson said, we want to create a new theme. The Tonight Show, Johnny Carson. So there were all these people that were submitting, their versions of themes and things of that nature, because they were looking for people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this one person who was well-known, still is, well-known singer as well as composer, lyricist, all of it, who submitted a song to Johnny, the instrumental, of course, because I don't know if there ever were any words to it, but the instrumental, which is the one you just did. Da, 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 da.
Right.
And Johnny loved it. And Johnny said, and I'll say who the singer is in just a second. Johnny said to the singer, okay, we'll use that. And the arrangement will be, we will split 50-50 every time it airs. So think about the 30 plus years, just about 5 nights a week, reruns, re-airs, where that theme has played. Lots of money has been made on that theme. The other 50%, the songwriter, Paul Anka.
Oh, really?
Paul Anka wrote that. Yeah.
Wow.
Paul Anka wrote, da, 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 da. So
I guess he did it his way.
Well, and that's the thing, when you were able to write jingles and things like that. Every product had a theme to it, a jingle. It usually had a mascot, like you had Josephine the plumber, you had Madge with Palmolive, and people would go into the hair salon and dip their hands.
Oh, that's right, dip their hands in.
You had Tony the tiger for Frosted Flakes, and Charlie the tuna for tuna fish, Starkist. You had
Starkist,
mascots, and you had jingles. I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, be a pepper. Mm-hmm. And I think that we need to bring that back. Not only does it make people feel good, but the brand identity, the warmth and the feeling and the identification. There's people who still sing, I'd like to teach the world to sing. Coca-Cola.
Right.
I mean, and
Pizza Hut making it great.
Right. Exactly. All of those. I really think that needs to come back.
Well, who did a lot of jingles was Barry Manilow.
Barry Manilow, yes.
A lot of famous singers did a lot of, jingles, wrote Alan Menken, who did the music for Beauty and the Beast. And I met him, and we became very good friends in the jingle business. And he was writing a lot of, which is wonderful, because nobody knows that you're writing jingles or whatever. The best musicians in the world are doing jingles, like musicians from the New York Philharmonic playing and
yes,
Randy Brecker and whatever, and then Steve Gadd,
second musicians who come in
and silent thing. And then every 13 weeks you would get a residual check from if they played the jingle on TV or radio or whatever. But it was a wonderful thing. It was like kind of a secret army and of people, very good musicians. And that the advantage of that is that I met a lot of wonderful players, wonderful musicians that I wanted to play with, and that was like a social thing, but also a musical thing. He gave me access to best talent in New York City.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. And that's what you had. And then, a lot of these choral groups too, like
Right.
Karen says, bring back jingles. I love jingles, grew up singing jingles. And a lot of the singers were sometimes the background singers for major artists. And
Luther Vandross was one of the singers, one of the jingle singers. Patty Austin. You have enormous talent. Don Johnson, the actor, was also singing jingles.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that, but I mean, if you needed a harmonica player, you would call Toots Stillsman and he would gladly do it. If you needed a harpsichordist, Igor Kipnis will play. So that means that you had access to the most talented people in New York, and which is like to say a lot.
And you were working with them.
And
Linda,
I was working. Yes.
Yeah. I think you never know. A lot of people are saying, please bring them back. The art of jingles once again. I think because you know why? I think it would open it up to a whole new generation who don't hear jingles. They also don't hear. I've had a group.
They don't hear melody.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I have, the radio side of me. I have a lot of friends who have been in the radio industry, the broadcasters, the stations, the music producers, the radio syndicators, and a couple of them are the originators of the format Beautiful Music, which was #1 on radio FM. It's the reason why they created FM radio on the radio. The only reason why FM exists on radio stations is because Beautiful Music, which was easy listening, beautiful instrumental music,
Right.
The Percy Faiths and others, where
Ray
they would
Conniff.
instrumental
Right.
or choral versions of standards and popular songs of the day were done, was because they were first on AM and then put on FM because of the fidelity and the stereo aspect.
Right.
So that's why the FM stations exist. So I have
there is a different voice for FM, everybody
yes.
talks like this.
Yeah.
And it's your host,
I've done it.
Carlos Franzetti.
Right. One of the
pizza. Yeah.
One of my favorite, I used to do that actually, in the many hats I've worn in this industry, was voice on an easy listening station, which went from the Beautiful Music format and then to adult contemporary. And and they used to have these fantastic slogans, and from the advertising background, the amazing slogans. One of them was for a radio station out towards the eastern part of Connecticut, towards New London, Mystic, and it was WTYD. The TYD was for tide, as in the ocean tide, and their place on the dial was 100.9. So what we would say on the air was things like, "You're listening to WTYD 100.9 FM, where the point makes all the difference."
That's a very good one.
That's very good.
The point, wherever you fall on your radio, 100.9, not 100.5 or 100.7, 100.9. But stuff like that. You
remember that. I remember from the 70s, WRVR with your host, Van J.
Yes.
and
William B. Williams on WNEW.
Right, that's right.
Exactly, yeah.
We are dating ourselves on this one, guys.
Well, but we lived, which is wonderful.
You've lived to tell the story.
Even with the COVID tea.
Right.
Actually, Carlos has a story about that.
People have asked, have you played any Hallmark movie themes, or have you done any movie scores, movie themes, any of that? Disney, Hallmark, or just any movie theme scored or any of that? Some of those questions are coming in.
I did movies. I've done movies like the Mambo Kings with Banderas and Armin Asante, and Q&A, a Sidney Lumet film with. I haven't done as many films as I've done about a dozen films here in France and Argentina, but it's a completely different thing. And one of the things is, the jingle business was a very lucrative business when I was there, and I didn't want to jeopardize that and say, well, I got to move to the West Coast. I mean, at one point I thought about it, but I said, well, it's like starting all over again. And as I said, I was doing very, very well with jingles, and I didn't want to. That's why the movies that I've done in the United States are basically they were basically done. I mean, produced and recorded in New York City, which a lot of them are. But if you really want to break into the business, you have to go to Los Angeles and work there. I don't know now because there's not so much happening, obviously, because of the obvious connotations.
Absolutely.
And at one point, because of unions and musicians and cost, believe it or not, which is a fraction of the cost of a $20-40 million movie, $100 million, whatever. And the producers, when it comes to music, is how much would it cost this with composer, and musicians, studio? Well, $300,000. Oh my God, that's what an explosion costs in one of those movies. But this way, can we go someplace? And they go to Europe to record. They go to Bratislava or to Prague and record for a fraction,
like we did,
and like we do it.
Yeah,
we've done a lot of that, but not for films. Yeah, but not for films, for our own projects. But what I mean is that this is funny, and this is can you do it with keyboards? The other thing the producers would say, it sounds the same. The strings, oh yeah, the sound. Nobody will notice. And unfortunately, this is happening more and more. And that's why you go to a movie, and you hear.
Did you hear that much?
Same stuff over and over.
And I mean, just imagine the scores that John Williams did for.
Yeah.
You don't get that anymore.
Real instruments, and now everything.
Amazing virtuosic writing of him, of Jerry Goldsmith, of Bernard Herrmann, all the great My Countrymen, Lalo Schifrin.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of things today. The sound is louder, it's compressed, and the treble is too piercing, and it's just very. And you hear a lot of.
Sound effects, you hear
something like
right.
This machine that's
and
just over and over.
An ethnic singing going and you say, well, this takes place in Afghanistan. No, this is London. And so,
well, you know what I have. You know what I have to say to that, Carlos and Allison.
What?
Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. Like Linda says, like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. And Barry Manilows.
And you remember the version that Sammy Davis Jr. did of Alka-Seltzer? Oh, what a relief it is.
My baloney has a first name. It's OSCAR.
Coca-Cola. You're right.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that one.
You bring good things to life. GE.
Oh, that's right.
I'm stuck on Band-Aids because Band-Aids are stuck on me.
I am stuck on Band-Aids because Band-Aids stuck on me. That's how that one went.
See, now the fact that we remember these things say something about the fact that this has to come back.
Well, I think the only memorable jingle that we have today is Liberty, 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 Liberty.
That one actually annoys me. That annoys
you, but I mean, it's the only thing that you can recognize.
Me too. But I'll bet I remember one that you won't. You know which one? The Pepsodent one. Do you remember? You wonder where the yellow went when you brushed your teeth with Pepsodent.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that one? Or Double Mint Gum?
I did zestfully clean. You're not really clean if you're zestfully clean.
You did that one?
I arranged, that was done by somebody else, and I would arrange it in a classical way or jazz or whatever. And, that's basically, I wrote some, but Other times it was working over a melody that you have, like the IRS. The IRS was somebody did it, and I went to and the musicians were singing taxes.
And all of a sudden, it made it seem so much smoother, and you actually were like, "Sounds good to me." Like you signed me up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Well, it was very interesting. As I said, there were the musicians, there were the agency people who we called the suits. The suits are here. We would see by the camera, and they would all arrive with ties and whatever. And then it was the copywriters and the singers, but it was amazing. It was an amazing activity I'm talking about the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then keyboards. Not only keyboards, before that you needed a jingle house, and that would cost at least $1 million of equipment. You needed a Trident board, a 24-track machine, a couple of Ampex or whatever recorders of reel-to-reel 15 IPS. You needed a lot of investment, a grand piano. But later on with synthesizers and computers, for $5,000 you could have the same thing at home, of course, without musicians, just keyboards and whatever. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's when the producer said $300,000 to score the history of humankind. No, that's a lot of money. The movie already cost $90 million. Now, go to this guy in an apartment. I mean, he has a nice keyboard and a nice setup and an AKG microphone, so he can do it. And that's what we got now.
That's what it is, right? Exactly. And I know in the easy listening, beautiful music world, things got so expensive here that they started going over to England and using British composers and production houses, Sid Dale and some of the others. And then in France, Paul Marriott and Frank Purcell, and
they were always there, and like
fabulous
Jimmy, what's his name, Farnan in England, a wonderful composer and arranger. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, over here we had an incredible tradition of that. I was lucky to meet David Rose, the guy who wrote Holiday for Strings and things like that.
Fabulous
composer. Then the other guy who worked a lot with the Boston Pops.
Arthur Fiedler?
No, I mean Leroy Anderson.
Leroy Anderson. Didn't he do the syncopated clock? Yes.
Yes.
And
that
Channel
was also
2.
That was the late show.
Right.
And that was the typewriter.
Right.
Exactly.
And then of course.
Right. One of the best. One of the best things about Christmas is that it only lasts 1 month, because you have all these beautiful melodies that you only hear during a month. Right. And that's it. That's the end of it.
Right.
You can. I mean, it's kind of sacrilegious to play it in February.
But some of us do, because we love it.
Some of them, yeah. What was that? I always ask you, Allison, because you remember around the 50th Street in Manhattan, there was a year-round bar with decorated with Christmas things.
Yes, I don't remember the name of it, but yes.
I mentioned it.
Right, they never took it down. You're right.
In July.
Yeah, they never took this stuff down. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
It is funny, but I mean, it shouldn't be funny. It's like saying, well, it's going to happen in Labor Day or after Labor Day, and this is going to happen after Turkey Day, and this is going to happen. I mean, but we don't celebrate Turkey Day or Labor Day or whatever, or Memorial Day with a melody, but Christmas we do. So there's a lot of things that we kind of yearn.
There are songs for Thanksgiving, Carlos. There are. There are definitely songs for Thanksgiving.
Well, I mean, not like Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells, Jingle.
Well, what's interesting about Christmas music too, because I'm a huge collector of music. I have a climate-controlled storage bin we pay monthly for that has hundreds and hundreds of LPs. Some of them are sealed, reel to reel, cassettes, CDs of all kinds of music, and a lot of it instrumental as well. Think about on tons of Christmas music of every kind of style you can think of, from vocal, choral, instrumental. And the thing about Christmas music is it's reliable. Like you say, it comes back into our lives every year. And these are familiar melodies, almost like lullabies, that comfort us year after year. So no matter what has gone on between December to December, all the craziness of life, here comes something that we've heard ever since we were placed on this planet. These familiar melodies, these familiar sounds that all of a sudden comfort and put a smile on our face, and sort of like, and I'm talking about a lot of the traditional stuff, like, you know, Percy Faith Orchestra and Henry Mancini and all the other, you know, the stuff that you hear, traditional stuff. And I just think Hugo Winterhalter and all these other, you know, Hugo Montenegro, all these, there's another great one.
Peter Nero.
Yes, Peter Nero. So when they did all of the interpretations of that music, it's really spectacular. And Conniff did a lot too. And it brings back, it harkens back to these familiar things about during this time of the craziness, COVID and all this. We've been talking a lot about surrounding yourself with some of the constants in life, because a lot of things that are not constant have been happening. So go to the ocean. If it's Christmas music for you, garden, play tennis, whatever you can do to familiarize or remind yourself of, bake bread, whatever, sort of surround yourself by the things that are constant. Go to the ocean and watch the sun rise, watch it set. It's going to do that tomorrow. It's going to do it the day after. It did it 10,000 years before. It's going to do it 10,000 years after, because we need some, you know, stability and some grounding and support. Music does that so beautifully. Old movies, nostalgic TV shows that make us feel good, things of that nature. But music really is a healer. Music is a unifier. It is a universal language. These jingles, no matter what genre of music, it's a way to connect people, but also comfort and heal in so many different ways. Won't you both agree with that? I'm sure.
Absolutely, you put it beautifully, and it's. I mean, you know, the thing is that. These are beautiful melodies.
You'll have yourself, a merry little
Christmas. All the days of your
happy Christmas
once more. We all will be together. It's the fates of
right.
Hang
So have
yourself
merry little Christmas. Jingle bells.
Yeah, jingle bells. Yeah. Some arrangers would end it with something like that. You know, that and the Christmas song that Mel Torme wrote. You know, chestnut roasting
in a microwave, which is the way Robert Williams used to sing it.
Yeah,
and you'd hear that on 100.9 FM, where the point makes all the difference.
For our next guest.
For our next, we have they call those voices and used to hear them a lot on the TV networks too. You know, tonight on CBS, the voice of God. That's what they would call those bold, authoritative.
Or those guys who said he was up for a revenge and now is payback time.
Right. Yeah. In a world. Everything started with in the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
Yes. This is terrific. I love that we just do what we do and that's it. And everybody's loving it. The comments are, can we open our presents now?
Yeah.
Not yet. Not yet.
Have you wrapped your presents?
Did you wrap them? Did you? That's right. Did you finish off the leftovers from Thanksgiving yet?
Exactly.
That's fantastic. But you guys are also known for a lot of incredible music of all kinds and so many different. I mean, how do you describe the music that you guys are so brilliantly known for? They're loving the sing along too. We'll have to do some more of that.
I guess so. Yeah.
You got a year now.
No charge and no copay.
Right.
But all the healing is done. Shopping done, but no wrapping yet.
Which kind of wrapping do you mean, though?
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. That is funny. That is funny.
Well, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for, folks. We have some selections here that we want to start with. This is Franz Argentum. Tell us about this one. You guys are both at the piano. Where was this filmed? And tell us the backstory to this.
Oh, this is Argentum, right?
It's a beautiful
You're going to
piece.
show?
Yeah,
Okay.
Franz Argentum.
Well, I'll explain where it was filmed, and then Carlos will explain the composition. It was my final concert working at Rutgers University, and the concert was called Farewell Franzetti. So I had a bunch of my friends who were performing with me, and Carlos was and he was the last performer with me. So we did 3 pieces, all of which he wrote, and 2 of which I arranged for 2 pianists to play. So Carlos, you want to explain Argentum first?
Yes, it's a piece basically based on the Baroque style of Johann Sebastian Bach, with harmonies that are more into classical music than popular music. So it's a theme and variation. So it has that element of having a theme and variations, and it's in 5/4, 5 beats instead of the usual 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a little bit of the famous. So this is. Anyway, and it has elements of milonga and other rhythms of Argentina. So I don't know whether are we supposed to play it live? You and I?
No.
Okay.
I think the video.
Yeah, we have the video. Yeah,
I got to change clothes if I.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. You're at the grand piano. Now the holiday themes, we can throw those in, sprinkle those in live because people seem to be liking that, or anything else you want to do. But this we have.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're at the grand pianos, and it's very really, really beautifully done. So let's take a look at that now, gang, and we will be back live on the Jim Masters Show Live, where levity is on the air and in the air. I got to create a jingle for that.
Yes.
That's it. Levity.
All right.
Here's some fabulous music, folks, and enjoy, and we'll be right back. Keep the comments coming. You guys are on fire today, viewers around the world. Good to have everybody with us today. Great show. Here's the music. Enjoy. Bravo.
That was fun, that concert.
Yeah, that was about a year ago, 2 years ago.
It was May of 2019.
No, how fast time travels.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, when
you're having fun.
That's
we've done a bunch of these things, playing together like that, and
amazing.
we always have such a good time when we do it. Do you have the other two? Are you planning to show them?
Yeah, we have the others too. But take a look at the levity coming your way from
very nice.
Very nice.
Bravo, everyone. Very nice. Clapping. Amazing. Bravo. Claps. Beautifully played. I'm always amazed by people who can work together and live together. Bravo. That's always a plus. And play together, literally. Juanita in South Africa, wowee, amazing. Christopher Joseph, piano duets, how charming, lovely duet on the pianos. Linda in Florida, so beautiful. Merlin in Canada, beautifully played. Really. And she got the piano key emojis in there too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, well done. Yeah,
Janet watching, claps. Good to see you, Janet. Brava. Really nice. Very beautiful stuff. Wow.
So you guys know where to find us when live music comes back.
That's right. And were you, somebody did ask that, do you tour? Were you performing? Did you have a venue? Did you have concert dates? Was there anything that was there that had to come to a grinding halt?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this year... Well, this year has been disastrous. You know, I was telling the other day my doctor and some other people that 2020 will be eradicated from calendar and history books.
Yeah, nobody was
we're going to be talking about 2019 and 2021. You know, it's going to be like the 13 rows on planes or the 13 floor on elevators. I mean, we're not going to be talking about 2020 anymore.
No.
But, no, we cancel everything. I mean, the last recording I did was March 13. I remember that. And right after that, well, you know, thank God because of computers and things like that, I had a couple of commissions. So I was able to work in a couple of projects that, of course, they were going to be recorded this year, but now they're moving it to 21, who knows, maybe 22. And Allison, you go and I mean, we had last year we were in Italy together with Allison. I was playing, but Allison was also teaching, and she gave a wonderful lecture on the influence of blues in classical music.
And in very bad Italian, but
she did it in Italian. Yes, I mean
very bad Italian, but I managed to learn enough to.
But anyway, this year we were going to do something similar, and. But you go from there. I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, we actually had a fair amount of traveling planned, and of course, it's gone, and we don't know when it's coming back. But we've been fortunate. Carlos has done these commissions, and I have been able to do some recordings, so small scale type stuff. So one of the things I've worked on is with a saxophonist. There's a couple of different recordings that we've been able to go into studios, very socially distanced and whatever, to be able to record. There's a violist that I'm working with a lot, Brett Dubner. We were able to do a whole bunch of recording at Queens College. He's on faculty there. That recording is actually going to come out on Parma Records in January. And we've done some live streaming that also included some of Carlos's arrangements that we did on my birthday, socially distanced and all that too. So
but all the orchestral stuff that you were doing, and you know, like
that's all gone.
And this, and now the Nutcracker. I don't think that you're going to be doing the Nutcracker.
Oh no, it's gone. That's gone. I've been Sugar Plum Fairy for years, you know, and then that's gone. So a lot of all that kind of stuff is gone. But I have had some I've been able to do some live streaming, like a lot of people, videos, lots and lots and lots of videos. And also our friend June, I don't know if she mentioned to you, Jim, that she and I are writing a project together.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah. So
June always has her hands in so many different things, doesn't she?
Oh, she really does.
Yeah.
She really does.
I
That's
thought
why we
I
got
did.
to
She
you.
does too. Yeah.
So I'm working on a project with her after basically not doing much writing for a long time. And but I'm really enjoying doing that and finding muscles that I've forgotten I had, actually.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, I've been pretty fortunate and been doing more than a lot of people that I can think of. But it's just not the same, and it's not coming back soon. And
they said the performing arts theaters, things of that nature, would be one of the last places to come back because of the configuration of everything, the seating and the whole thing. And you know, if you're singing, you're projecting out, and
if you're playing, you know, trumpet, I mean, that projects also. Well, what I didn't say also is that in June I got, you know, I got a medical emergency, and I had to go to the hospital for brain surgery. I had subdural hematoma, and they operated, and then a couple of days after that I was at home, and they took the stitches out. And a few days after that, I went back to the hospital for 2 other brain operations, brain surgeries. And one of them, they put a plate, you know, a titanium plate. So it was kind of a difficult month. And of course, July, I spent July and August in rehab because I had to, I had a problem with posture, with balance, and with nausea and things like that. And I had to relearn a lot of things, so including piano playing. But what they discovered is that it was COVID related, in a sense that I had an episode. This has been a horrible year, what I can tell you. And in late March, where I did have the COVID, and it was also proven by a blood test that I had just before I had this brain episode, where I developed antibodies, and so did Allison, right? Allison, I mean, you always have, you also have that, right?
Yep, I tested positive for antibodies, and I never got sick. I mean, the most I ever got, Carlos was sick. It was actually early March, honey. I was in LA with Mariana, and you got what you thought was the flu.
Well, but
for a day or two.
Right. But then my doctor said, I mean, when she did a blood test for me, she said, you are positive, you have COVID. And when I went to the hospital for this, I found it, and it was in June. And I was very lucky because I went to a wonderful hospital, the Overlook
Medical Center
in Summit, New Jersey, which is basically a neurological hospital. I had the best treatment and care. And as I said, I spent 10 days in 2 different weeks, 10 days at the hospital. It was empty. I was in an ICU, and it was empty. And I asked the nurses, how come? I thought there was going to be a crowd. And they said, well, last month it was like that, but now it's, you know, the curve went down. And I said, what happened to most patients, I mean, here in the ICU? And they all say, they all die.
Yeah.
They all die. None of them survive.
And now we're
back.
Due to Thanksgiving, people got together, and some don't want to wear the mask, social distance, or what have you, and that's a whole other thing. But we do all that. We wear them. We social distance. We do everything we can to try to help us and everybody else. I can't see why you wouldn't want to do that. It's a real
and present danger. Yes,
you've had it. And they're finding with it all these other things: neurological, cardiovascular. Brain, COVID isn't just a flu and can't breathe.
And you can smell. No, I mean, it goes beyond that.
And you don't know how you will. I know people, well, not personally, but like maybe 1 or 2 degrees away, where they were 35 and the picture of health gone. Look at Nick Cordero, the Broadway star.
I know.
41 years old, fit, healthy. But his body just didn't react. It overdid it, you know.
Jim, they used to, when you used to be afraid of flying or whatever, if you're afraid, and you would get an insurance, a life insurance for flying, and they would always ask you, do you know any people who die in a plane accident?
Yeah.
And you would answer, no, I don't remember anybody. I mean, a friend or whatever. But with COVID, I have a lot of friends who passed. I mean, who died of COVID. We have, and people who were seriously ill of with COVID, and obviously,
and they were healthy prior.
They were perfect,
no problems, nothing. People have had heart attacks, strokes.
Right.
It's created issues with children, and not just seniors, but children have had. There's neurological lasting effects and inflammation of the heart. I mean, this thing is really extraordinary.
It's extraordinary.
You have to take it seriously.
Very dangerous virus. Yes.
Absolutely. But listen, everyone, Carlos is fine.
Yes.
So
you're noticing all the levity. People are saying, God bless you both.
Right. If there's any question, there is no question. Carlos does not have to see a surgeon again. He needs no more CAT scans. The doctor
told him, you were okay. Would you have a sniffle or anything that you could?
A little bit of a headache.
And
a little bit of a sore throat for like a day or two.
No. Any loss of taste or smell?
No, absolutely not. And I would eat some chicken soup and I would feel fine. So that's about as much as I ever got. And so I didn't think anything of it.
And what we don't know yet is if one has had it, it's think of the flu. You've had the flu once, you can have the flu again.
You have a cold, whatever. You don't treat yourself. When I had my COVID, I didn't want to go to the hospital because these things happened on a Saturday night. And I said, wait, and Allison was in Los Angeles with our daughter. I said, well, I'm going to drive to the hospital. It's going to be packed with people who are really in an emergency. So I'm not going to go there. I'm going to try to get over this. And I did in a couple of days, but I should have gone. But what I said is I'm getting back to my surgeon said, what you had, since you didn't have any falls or anything like that, it's COVID related. And I said, well, I didn't know that. And I said, yes, it can affect your brain. It can affect your lungs.
What COVID is the second C word. People are feeling when people hear COVID now is like the feeling they get when they hear cancer in a way.
Right.
It instills that sort of level of fear. It's become the other C word. When you heard that, did it?
Cancer, you're right.
Athletes and so many people. When you heard that you had it, or that it's related, was there a little bit of a flash of?
I tell you what, it was a relief because you can have a spontaneous bleeding like I had out of different things that are much more serious in the sense of being brain hemorrhage or alcoholism or whatever that burst your arteries and so when they say, well, there is a reason for this, although you didn't fall on your face or whatever, I remember hitting my head, but not so violently, getting into my car. But they said, well, this is COVID related. I was relieved and said, well, this happened because of a reason. I could nail it into something like that.
Right. You can have there's a face attached to it, right? And it's not just unknown thing that just sort of happened, right?
Exactly.
The unknown is worse. Yeah.
But we were very fortunate that we got Carlos to the hospital both times in time. So the first time that we had to take him, Carlos is, as you can see, he's a very strong guy. And the night of his birthday, he fell and he had trouble getting up, which we found very odd. But once he got up, he was okay. But the next day, the day before, we took him to the hospital. It was on a Thursday, and because he realizes I can hear him. I said, you haven't been getting out. We need to go for a walk. And it was on the way. He was walking really weirdly and his balance was off and he was dragging one of his feet. And on the way back, all of a sudden, he broke into this run that he literally couldn't stop. I tried to run to the house to get the door open to run back to get him. And I wasn't in time. He fell flat in our driveway and did a number on himself. And we called in to our doctor, and he fell again that evening, and we were having trouble getting him up. So the next day, she said, he's got to go to the hospital. He may have had a stroke. I took him to the emergency room and then didn't see him again until we brought him home. Because at that time, you could not even go into the emergency room. We were still in phase 1, if I remember correctly. So someone from the emergency room saw this man struggling to walk with me, struggling to help him get him in. And then that was that. So Carlos, you take it from there.
And the doctor, they did a CAT scan, and the doctor came over and said, well, there's an ambulance who's going to pick you up and going to take you to the other hospital because we can't intern people here. And tomorrow morning, you're going to have surgery. And I said, what? Surgery? Whatever. So I they took me to the hospital. They gave me a meal. And then, of course, I couldn't eat for the next 12 hours. Then the doctor called me and said, you have subdural hematoma, and you had it for a while, and you have it on 2 parts of the brain. So I said, well, are you gonna open my brain, or are you gonna open the cranium? And they said, no, we're gonna do burr holes or whatever, which is what they did. And the next morning I was there in surgery, and I recovered pretty well. And after that, they said, well, we're ready to send you to the back home so you can be there. And I came back home, and let me show you something. I don't know if you can see here. This is on the second surgery, and the doctor said, well, we're gonna take the stitches out, and they did. And 2 days after that, I couldn't play piano. I sat at the piano, and my hand wouldn't move. I couldn't recognize the chords. I was playing things that I had played for 50 years, and I just couldn't. And I said, we have to go back to the hospital. And we did, and it's like a Woody Allen movie. We lived here for about 20 years. They never paved the streets. That day, they were paving the streets. So we couldn't get across. We had to walk through the lawns, and finally we got to a place where Allison had parked the car, and she picked me up. And this time we went directly to the main hospital, to the Overlook Neurological Center. And that's where this time the doctor said, well, it got worse than before. Now we're going to have to open and put up, open drain, which I had a drain for. I'm sorry for, the viewers or whatever, and try not to be too graphic, for about 1 extra day. And then they put a plate. And then I had another surgery to close the arteries because they were afraid. And of course, after that, as I said, I got CAT scans every 2 weeks, and rehab, physical rehab. I must say that I had the best possible care in the world. I mean, the doctors, the nurses, and the physical therapists were amazing.
The thing that was tough, though, about all this too is that I could not see him at all.
No,
this whole process.
That's the thing about this. People are dying alone.
I know.
Yes.
This is what the nurses were saying. We remember them all. We remember their names. We remember how we hooked them through FaceTime to talk, to say goodbye to the loved ones. And it broke my heart to hear that.
Absolutely. So yeah, we were able to be in touch, of course, with FaceTime and all that. We could do that. But no, I was not physically at the hospital at all. The second time with emergency, I was in emergency with Carlos. And then once he was admitted, I left. And the next time I saw him, both times, was when I brought him home. And but I was speaking with the doctors constantly, and the nurses, and keeping all sorts of lists of I'll speak with this nurse about this question. What were we going to have to deal with when Carlos came home? Were we going to have to do anything in terms of accommodations to the house? Was he going to have to actually go to rehab, or could he come home? These are all things that I was figuring out with the doctors and the nurses the whole time. And I will say, an amazing team of people. Absolutely.
For the physical therapy, remember with the physical, of course I couldn't drive because I was driving and the car was leaning toward the right. I couldn't keep the car straight. I mean, it was like multiple things. And the the physical therapist said, you were 1 day away. I said, 1 day away of what? Of being sitting in a chair forever.
Or dead.
Or dead.
So was this something, because of having hit the head, was this something that was going to happen anyway and made worse by COVID, or did COVID trigger it?
It's spontaneous bleeding, courtesy of COVID-19. In other words, I mean, it affected the arteries that are under subdural and above the arachnoid. I mean, I became like a brain surgeon after that because and what one of the doctors said, it was pressing your brain, and that's why compressing your right side, that's why you were dragging your left foot, and then the other, and we saw when we drained the blood how the brain came back to the original form. The problem with that is when it compresses the brain too much, the brain can be herniated, and as a result of that, you die.
That's it.
It affects everything.
No, but you were asking, would this have happened anyway? And probably not. We don't know that for an absolute fact. And I'm not going to pretend we do, but probably not. And certainly there are case studies about spontaneous subdural hematomas that do come back, like what happened to Carlos, that's directly COVID related. So that research absolutely does exist. And this was something that the surgeon and I were going back and forth about during this process, as a matter of fact, because I kept reminding him at first. I said, no, Carlos does not have COVID now. He has the antibodies. Right. So do I. So
of course, they were checking me every day. They were doing that because they need to know.
Absolutely.
And I was negative, but that doesn't mean that I didn't have it before.
Correct. Maureen is a nurse.
I know. I read that, and
I'm a nurse, and the very worst part of my job is seeing patients be so scared and alone. It's truly heartbreaking. Thank God you recovered from a horrific ordeal, and that you're both COVID survivors. Marilyn says this week COVID claimed 2 friends in 2 days. She's 85. She stays home.
Stay safe.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my sister and my brother-in-law and I take turns doing the food shopping for my mother. My mother's 90. My mother's running her businesses still. She's beyond brilliant, but she has not set foot in a grocery store since this started. And we won't let her. We're reaching a point where if things get much worse, we're going to start ordering everything and not go to the stores anymore.
That's what, I have
we're just about there.
Good friend that works in one of those stores, and 5 employees have had COVID. And because you're dealing with people, there's only so much, I guess, distancing in a store that people are going to follow or that you can do, and because people are moving around with their carts and they're turning around, and they're not everybody walks in the straight line like we would hope,
and they don't wear their masks correctly.
And,
so
they don't wear the mask. I mean, some people wear them right here or whatever, and
so when
even below the nose is no good.
When you see people not wearing them and refusing to, does it irritate you?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I've been through that, and I heard from the nurses, this thing that, probably broke my heart when they were saying, we remember them all, we remember their names, we remember their families calling, we remember how they died.
Right.
I mean, this is no joke. This is no joke. That I'm immune now.
That's nonsense.
No.
So we have cousins that are nurses, and they're on the front lines, and they're telling us all the stories, and it's real. It's not made up hoax, fakes.
No,
that's crap.
And they are there. They're there 24 hours a day, and they're there at night. And you just ring the thing, and they say, what can I do for you? And they come over and they change you, and they they hook you up to another IV, and I mean, they're wonderful. They're wonderful people. I have only words of praise for them and for the doctors. I mean, we don't know what we have there, and they're very compassionate people. And
absolutely. Well, thanks for opening up. And a lot of people have told me they feel so comfortable in the atmosphere we have here on the show that they open up about their lives, their experiences, their passions. And I really appreciate you guys doing that and sharing this, because it might be helping others right now who are watching live or will watch this in the archives. And I appreciate your doing that and being so expressive about it, and sharing your experiences, which this is the real world and this is reality, and that's true levity. I mean, I know we giggle with the word levity, but that really is levity. And it also re-strengthens a relationship that's already very strong, and that's between the two of you. Having survived all of this, and the fear of what happens if she goes, what happens if he's gone, what happens, and all those things that run through your mind. And it makes you want to share the story. It makes you want to create more music and get out there. And, it really, these kinds of experiences, which I think at this point is such a beautiful segue to something extraordinary, which is Franz Tango. How about that?
Wonderful.
Oh, I think it's going to be Tango Final. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, so Tango Final is from Carlos's first Latin Grammy-winning record called Tango Fatal. And Carlos, what was it? It was piano. It was
it was for a ballet.
Right. But I was talking about the original scoring of it.
The original scoring was a quintet with violin, bandoneon, which is the concertina or accordion.
Right. Then I was doing the guitar part on keyboard, and it was violin and.
Well, we recorded that in New York and in Buenos Aires. We went to Buenos Aires to record part of this record that Allison sent to the Grammys without me knowing.
And, he was like, nothing's going to happen with this record.
Right. Forget it.
I said, no, I have a fefeeling, Carlos.
And a year after, we were in Buenos Aires, and somebody called me in Buenos Aires and said, "Oh, congratulations, you got a Grammy." And this is, what are you talking about? So we bought the newspapers. And we found out that I was nominated for this tango recording, and I won. And of course, everything in our life has to be dramatic. When the awards were given in Los Angeles, September 11, 2001. So we flew the day before, and we were in Los Angeles, and all of a sudden, the world stopped. Fell apart, including us, including the Grammys. Of course, there were no Grammys.
Gone.
5 days after that, we rented a car and we drove from Los Angeles to New York.
Mm-hmm. Did you really?
Yeah.
How long did that take?
4.5 days.
4 days,
about 4.5, because we didn't really hit the road until like the Friday afternoon, and we got back on a Tuesday, and we stayed in some of the armpits of America. I got to tell you, because
we decided not to be major cities, because we said there's going to be a lot of stranded people there.
Yeah.
So instead of Flagstaff, we will stop in Winslow, Arizona. Instead of Oklahoma City, we'll be in Elk.
Elk City.
So as you were driving across the country from LA back to the New York area, did you sing along and sing the song that most people sing when they have a long trip like that? 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer.
That was not the song we were singing. No.
So you went against the tide.
We went against. No, it was amazing.
It's really pretty terrible if we told you what we were singing, though. No, maybe we shouldn't. I think not. We'll stop.
I mean, it was. You know what it was?
It on the keys.
When you wish upon a star.
Oh, very nice.
That's. We were happy to be in control. We were happy to be in control. Now we can. Our daughter, who was 4 or 5 years old?
No, she was 7. She was
7. Okay.
Allison is good with dates and time.
Yes, I mean, she remembers everything. That was before when I got there.
Right.
So
Yes.
Remember the birthday and the anniversary, Carlos. The
I
birthday.
know, no, I remember that. How could I forget that? You know,
No, he didn't.
I have a
forget that.
tattoo here.
But
And she did the
she
tattoo.
she was
Of a hot iron.
she was Mariana was staying at my folks
Right,
who
well,
lived
sure.
in a town not far from here. My father was still alive at this time.
Yeah.
And we had only moved to our house the week before we flew to LA. And our next door neighbor at the time was a police detective, and all of a sudden we were here. And there are people from our town who died in the towers.
Well,
So
who died, or we could have been the terrorists. You know,
Right.
we-
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think
here.
we were. I don't think we were terrorists, honey. Anyway,
Well, no,
he
what
didn't
I'm
know.
saying is that-
Like, right, he didn't know our last name because he was going to start trying to see what happened to us. And when we got back here, our neighbors on both sides came like out of their houses, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
thank God, we didn't know what
California
happened to you." Yeah,
My brother-in-law was offered a job at Cantor Fitzgerald in August of 2001, and because they were on Long Island, and it was a very good job. And Cantor Fitzgerald was in the South Tower of the World Trade
that's
Center.
right. That's right.
And he didn't take the job because he was offered something more in line with what he wanted to do and a little more lucrative that took he and my sister and their son to Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, where they were for a while, instead of taking the job at Cantor Fitzgerald. The gentleman that did the interviewing of my brother-in-law, the gentleman that also took the position that my brother-in-law didn't take, and about 700 others at Cantor Fitzgerald perished when that
Right.
the South Tower collapsed.
I know.
Right.
I mean,
So
we lived
there was a
block away.
leprechaun on his side, I think, not taking it. Yeah, very close.
We lived about a block away from there in Battery Park City.
So you got hit with.
I had at that point we had moved, but I had my dentist was there, my doctor was there in the towers, and of course, I mean, it was something that you wake up in the morning and you would see, the Twin Towers.
Wonderful restaurant
Right.
windows on the world.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, of course.
And then there were people that people forget, but I know from the television industry and radio industry, there were the people who were at the very top who maintained those transmitter towers, the TV and radio towers at the top of the World Trade Center.
Mhm.
And they unfortunately were trapped. They couldn't get down in time because the plane. There was a childhood friend from Long Island who was working that day on the 98th floor of the North Tower. And he had just been promoted to vice president in his company and married with a 5-year-old daughter. And unfortunately, the plane entered that building in the 95th, and he was 98th. So 98th floor.
Well, even if, you couldn't go down after that. Even if you didn't die of
And people say all these different stories, but I studied architecture and design before I went into this industry of television, radio, media, entertainment, the whole thing, journalism. Those buildings, people say, well, how come those buildings went like,
right?
They were designed to do that. They were designed to go down in levels like that. Of course, the planes hit them at weak points that triggered the collapsing of them. And of course, all the fire and the heat and everything. But the initial time when they targeted the buildings, it was a parking garage that they did it in 93 because they wanted to weaken the foundation so the buildings would topple and take out rows of people and rows and streets.
Exactly.
But this particular,
I was there in 93.
In 93. So they were designed to pancake, so they did not fall over and land on other buildings, architecturally and from an engineering way, you know, for them to go down that way.
What was it, 73 that they started building them, or is?
Yeah, they were building it in 73. Exactly.
73. I remember that. I mean, you know, you would go, and of course, Battery Park City didn't exist. It was a landfill later on. But I mean, New York would stop there. I mean, you had the building, and then you had the West.
They added the actual soil, and they extended out into
out of there of the excavation. They started building and refilling and building Battery Park City, which is beautiful.
Absolutely. So with that, that is your introduction, folks, to tango.
So it's Tango Final.
Tango Final from Tango Fatal. You know.
Bravo, bravo. And there wasn't a period at the end of that sentence. That was an exclamation point.
You think?
Now, do you guys, like, if you are angry at the world or things that happen, do you go to the instruments and go, dun, 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 and take, are you able to, you know how like people that go to work out at a gym take their frustrations out of the gym versus towards other people? Do you sometimes go to the instruments and
to the instrument and do
Jaws. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. It could be. I mean, but we don't know. I mean, this is. I think that the Scotch and on the rocks will be more up. To get rid of frustrations. One or two, glasses of Scotch on the rocks.
And maybe it goes with the rite of spring.
Well, whatever.
Now we have another. I want to keep this fabulous theme going with the music too, and I'm going to bring it up here. This one we're going to play a little bit differently because of the size of the file. So here it is, and this is the other clip. Is it?
This must be Passacaglia.
Passacaglia.
Yes. And tell us about this one for folks watching.
Well, this is from a recording that we did in Prague. Here is the CD called Alvarada, and we recorded this with the Prague Symphony Orchestra. And
show that again so we can get a widescreen.
Alvarada, Carlos Franzetti, Allison, and with the CD of Prague Philharmonic Orchestra. And it's all an album of my compositions, and we have here the couple in Lake. Is that Lake Geneva or one of the? It's in Switzerland.
It was a different lake. It was a different lake.
Yeah. Well, anyway, these are all my compositions, and we recorded this with this orchestra. And when I'm playing piano, which is in half of the repertoire, we have 9 compositions here. When I'm playing 4 or 5 of them, Allison is conducting. And when she's playing piano, I am conducting. And we recorded the whole thing in one day of 2 4-hour sessions. So in this instance, this is an arrangement that Allison did for the 2 pianos, and it's called Passacaglia, which is an old style of music. Anyway, I'm not going to go further because then you have to explain the form and whatever, and I'm going to bore all your listeners.
They're loving it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're loving it.
Well, it's one of the variation forms. So I have, over a setup or I would say a groove of several chords, a melody is written and then variations over the melody, but always keeping those chords that create the foundation of a Passacaglia.
That's what it is. It's based on this.
And you'll always hear that repetition of or that groove, a bam of chords. And that's the beauty of form, and that's the beauty of antique form, like it's the Baroque style of suites and music like Chaconne, Passacaglia, Bouet, Minuet, all that.
Very nice, very nice.
Now, Passacaglias are usually in 3 beats in a measure, and this one, like Argentina, has 5 beats in a measure, so it's a little unusual.
Well, I like to break forms. I mean, you can always take. I mean, after all, Passacaglia has been around for what, 300, 400 years. So
sure, easily longer than we have.
Modernize it a little bit.
So you're saying that it was created before jingles?
Yes,
pre-jingles.
It was when we were young, Jim. Yes.
Yeah. You know how everybody has always referenced BC, before Christ. Now we have to have 2 BCs, before Christ and before COVID. 2 BCs
you're
now.
Right. You're right. Well, yeah. I'm sure that it's going to be skipped from future history books and things. 2019, and then we go to 221 and.
Well, I tell people there's only 3 people who probably could have scripted this whole year with everything: the economy, the pandemic, the civil unrest, the election, everything that's gone on, and all the natural disasters, fires, floods, hurricanes, whatever, would be Steven Spielberg, Stephen
King.
or Rod Serling.
I know.
Those would be the ones that would have, or maybe Alfred Hitchcock too.
Alfred Hitchcock. You know, I was in Maine a couple of years ago. I was in Bar Harbor, and then Bar Harbor, yes. Bahaba. And we went to we took a cab and went to Maine to the airport. And I said, "Can you show me to the guys who was driving Stephen King house? I mean, I know that he lives." So he took me there, and he said, "Marvelous house. It's a wonderful house, but the fence resembles a cobweb." You know, the design of them,
like the Munsters.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
isn't that cool? Yeah,
it is. It is.
Bahaba. Yeah.
Bahaba. Yeah, I know.
Good stuff. All right, so we're gonna play that, and thanks for that intro and that beautiful description, so people are familiar, and we will enjoy that. And we have some more to show as well after. And thanks for being with us, guys. You're fantastic. You're funny. You're warm. You're affable. You're talented and gracious. And we love having you as my special guests on the show today. We're loving this afternoon together. I hope you guys are as well.
Yeah, we stay here. We stay here. You know?
Of course, you should see what we're really like. No, I'm kidding.
You mean after the lights and cameras go off?
No. You mean when we each pour a scotch afterwards?
Oh, right? Yeah. Well, you know, we will do that, of course.
We will be doing that, yes.
And not in separate rooms.
No. We'll be in the same room toasting, and we will remember you, Jim.
This has been so much fun.
Oh, thank you.
Are you related to Bat Masterson? No.
People say that, right? I know.
Bat Masterson. Remember that?
Yes.
The name is Bat Masterson.
I love it. You know what's very funny is when I before we play this, when I say the name on the phone. Well, first of all, if somebody calls and I answer and I go, "Hello," people pause and they'll wait for me to say more, because whatever it is, the quality of my voice, or maybe being on the air or whatever it is, they think that I'm a voicemail or an answering machine. They don't think that it's me live. They think that I'm an announcer. That's the machine, the answering machine. So I'll go, "Hello," and they go, "Jim, are you there?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's me." They're like, "Oh, I thought it was like an announcer machine or something that you had going because of the sound of the voice." Which
you should say, "Hi, this is Jim, and if you want to leave your message," and of course somebody starts talking, start after the beep. Beep. And, "Hi, Jim, this is," I'm here, you know.
Right, I should do a whole thing. Right, exactly. Oh, let's take a look at that.
That's Allison and I with our collection of Grammys. Hey.
And we're forming this bridge over them. I forgot about that picture.
Bridge over Grammys.
Well, you know,
those are not troubled waters there. Good thing you have long arms, the two of you, to be able to
to do that, you know. And these are the big Grammys.
Yeah, so are we going to listen to Pascal, or are we?
No, we're going to be here talking about, you know.
No, you don't have a roast in the oven that's burning, do you? You need to check on it, Allison?
No, and that would be Carlos who'd be cooking most of the time anyway. No. Actually, we were going to do something about dinner, but I'm not worried about it.
You know, I know if we didn't have this COVID situation, we could all get together at the same restaurant and eat, but we shall do that. We will make a date, and when we can,
absolutely
bring June in, and we'll have a good time. Let's
absolutely.
We're going to play that song while Carlos is looking for more photos for us.
No, what I'm looking is, I got it.
He's got it.
This is okay. Stephen King's house in what's the name of that in Maine, the famous town? But look at the
Kennebunkport or
Yeah, look at the fence. Look at the fence. It looks like a spider web. Oh, sorry.
But I kind of get the point.
The top look like bats or something.
Yes,
don't
yes,
they?
yes.
They look like bats. All right, so we have more.
For our viewers, I just wanted to show us.
We have more music coming up, folks. Don't go anywhere. Lots more coming up. Fun couple. Glad to be here. Glad to be able to hear your music. Love the piano. If ever two people were destined to be together, it's you, Allison and Carlos. You literally make beautiful music together. Thank you, Allison and Carlos, for sharing your time and talents with us. We appreciate it immensely. Wow. All kinds of good stuff. And now we're going to play that material, wonderful material.
All right.
And then we'll be back. Enjoy, everybody. Here we go. This is a good one, as they all are. It's queuing up. Do you want to play something while it cues?
In the circle, the
circle of levity. The circle of levity. It's a big file too. I think that's what it is. Let's see.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a huge file.
Oh, here we go. That should do it. All right.
Well, sometimes you just do a quick reboot, and here we go. Nice.
It's a nice,
very
wow.
Sunday piece. Yes.
Isn't that really beautiful? That really, absolutely is.
Somebody was saying soothing, which is perfect.
So beautiful and soothing, right? That was Linda Odell in St. Augustine, Florida. Absolutely. And yeah, all of them saying that claps and claps and claps, like standing ovation from Marsha Murphy Watson. Linda says it's so cool to watch them play the piano at the same time. That's so amazing as well. And sort of like, who is the other one? I have a lot of their material. Ferrante and Teicher. You know Ferrante and Teicher, right?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, very well, very well.
The Kontarsky brothers, there was one, and Marie Lebec and their sisters, the Lebec sisters.
Right.
All right.
What a fun and interesting couple. Thank you for taking time out to spend with us tonight. Truly amazing to hear you both play such lovely music on the pianos. You're both truly an amazing couple, as well as very talented musicians as well. And here's more levity coming in, claps and beautiful from Kathy, and Anne says beautiful. Juanita in South Africa, very tranquil. Kathleen in New York City, claps and piano keys. Karen in Nova Scotia, beautiful, just beautiful. Really nice. We have another piece that you sent our way. Now this one is Soledad. You want to tell us about this one?
That is a tango, I think, that I played at home. And that's what you sent?
Yeah, I did.
Is that me, Soledad? It's a tango composed by Carlos Gardel, who was a singer from the 30s. And Soledad means solitude. And I think I did it. I recorded at home.
You did.
So it might be a combination of two pieces, Soledad and Danzarin. Danzarin means dancer.
Or Milonguito, it's one of them.
I don't remember now, because you did it without my approval. No.
Well, I mean, you weren't around for me to ask.
All right, okay. So. No, I don't, I'm glad that I was dressed when I played this. Yeah.
Carlos, I would never have sent it any other way.
I've noticed, certain things that you have done in the past, but I'm not gonna talk about them.
You don't want to give away all our secrets, do you? Really?
No, not here.
No, I don't think so. All right.
Not a Sunday afternoon, man.
Folks, I think the medicine is starting to wear off.
Yes, and I mixed them. Unfortunately, I mixed them wrong. So.
Oh, did you mix them wrong?
Yeah, it was supposed to be taken a year from now, but anyway.
You took the antihistamine and the decongestant?
Uppers and downers. Uppers and downers.
Up and down. That's right. Well, here we go. Here's this other beautiful piece that you sent our way, which we appreciate, and more beautiful music. So we'll do another reboot here.
It's called the Circle of Life here.
Circle of Life and
Circle of Levity. There we go.
And you see that the piece, the furniture thing in the background there.
You get to see the actual presentation.
Yeah.
There we go. I like the way you just exit gracefully, very beautifully.
You know what I love about this music? I mean, the second tango, both tangos are from the 20s or 30s. And they all had, I mean, the second one especially had that element of innocence and nostalgia
Yes.
that the
Yeah.
ragtime had. That,
Yes.
you know, the entertainer and Joplin rags, and they were all related, all this music. And it's funny. I mean, you know, when I haven't heard this in a long time, and the title of the piece is Boedo, which is a section of Buenos Aires. It's like saying Chelsea or you know, Morning High in New York. So Boedo is one of those sections, but it has that thing of Nouvelle. Belle Epoque, I'm sorry, Belle Epoque.
Yeah.
You know, it has that element of innocence of nothing is going to happen to the century. Or this is the 20th century, of course.
Right.
You
The
know.
21st, it's a whole other.
Oh well, that's a different ball game.
That's a different ball game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have another wonderful piece, and that is it Las Niñas?
Las Niñas. Niñas. Yeah, with
Tell
the
us about
N,
this one.
It's
With an N.
the girls. It's a
like El
composition.
Nino.
El Nino, yes, exactly. But this is the girls, and not the boy. Las Niñas. It's a composition. You explain, Allison.
It's a composition by an Argentine composer named Carlos Guastavino. And Carlos Guastavino was a very tonal composer at a time when that was not considered very popular. So he supported himself as being a chemist. His music got discovered much later in his life. Carlos and I actually had the good fortune to meet him twice. The first time together, we were on our honeymoon in Buenos Aires, and I had recorded at the time 3 pieces of his, and we were able to give him a copy of the pieces. He signed my music, and I still have it. So he was absolutely lovely. These shelves full of chemicals. He lived in this upstairs kind of, I guess, an attic apartment, you would say, Carlos, right? And he was most gracious. He spoke very good English, which was really good because I did not speak more than about 30 phrases of Spanish at the time. And he really couldn't have been more gracious. Carlos saw him subsequently after that on his own, and unbeknownst to Carlos Guastavino, Carlos filmed him. And then I saw him later with Mariana. Mariana, our daughter at the time, was about 7.5 months old in a stroller, and he literally helped me carry the stroller up the stairs to his apartment, and he gave her cookies, and she was most entranced with him. Anyway, his music is absolutely some of those beautiful that I've ever done. Not only does he have a wealth of piano solo repertoire, he has some fabulous vocal music and other music. So I'm so glad that we were able to meet him. He died, I think, in 2000, if I remember right. So we met him, it would have been in 1994. So we were most fortunate. So this is Las Niñas, what you're about to hear.
Very, very nice. All right, we'll get that all set up here. And we were previewing this earlier. Very, very beautifully done. I think people are really going to fully fall in love with this, as they have with everything that we've been sharing thus far, Allison and Carlos. Here is more beautiful music coming your way. With the circle first.
The circle of
life.
The circle of trust.
It's a big file. I think that's what it is. The circle of levity.
Oh yeah, okay. There we go. That should be it.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yay!
Very beautifully done. Yay, yay, yay. Absolutely.
That has one of the most beautiful introductions I ever heard. That, the line, so well conceived and written. It's marvelous. And I was thinking why he didn't develop that into the composition. He went into something totally different, which is beautiful too. But I mean, if he had developed just out of the introduction further, it would have been. It's such a beautiful introduction. You hear it.
Well, maybe you should do it.
Maybe I should do it.
You should do it.
It's like Christmas, only happens once,
Right.
Absolutely. Martha says, Allison, that was beautiful. Juanita says, love it. Maureen says, absolutely exquisite. Janet says, Allison plays with such grace and enthusiasm, and you can tell she puts a lot of feeling into each and every song she plays. Thank you again for sharing such talent. Mary Bishop in Florida says, so nice to just close your eyes and listen, very soothing. Linda says this is Mary again. Linda, sometimes these comments go so fast. There's so many.
Music is
so graceful and beautiful. I'll have you read them. Do your announcer voice, Carlos. There's our next one.
Now, Linda said, I so love this, so beautiful. Bernadette Vidal, I love how the music moves through Allison as she plays. I sounded like Al Pacino there.
We'll make the font bigger. We'll make the font bigger so you don't have to lean in.
Okay. Make it bigger because
he just did.
Bernadette, the circle of love.
Honey, you can see that.
I can't. Look, I need a seeing dog and a white cane here.
Whereas I'm farsighted, so I have to wear glasses to read.
But
I could see it without my glasses.
Beautiful,
beautifully played.
Juanita Quetzer. You're from South Africa. That's a South African name, Quetzer. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
Linda Odell, clapping.
So what's the giveaway with it being a South African name? How were you able to pick that up right away?
Because there was I love fighting. I love boxing. And there was a wonderful fighter from South Africa, Jerry Coetzee. And I've seen that name. Probably is a name. It's not obviously a British name. It's more like, how do you call that? Dutch or or Flemish. That's what I mean. Right.
You also had mentioned South Africa before. He's not being that
of course, but I couldn't. Yes, Mrs. Colombo, but I couldn't tell everybody from.
Well, that was the episode we were watching yesterday, though.
That's right. Yeah. Now, one more thing, please, if you don't mind.
With the hands, too. With the hands.
He had this kind of zen, intelligence, and he would be like this.
Yeah. Now
you have coffee. Yeah.
Here you go. We'll make this one big. You can read this one for us. Okay. It's going to cover your face because it's so big with the bigger font.
A wonderful time spent with all of you today. Have a wonderful evening. My 6 children, their significant others, and my 9 grandchildren are having a Zoom call in just a few minutes. Take care.
Thank you, Sherry. You too.
You read this one, Allison.
We just saw it. You two are like my husband and me with playful sparring. This is Bernadette Vidal. Linda Odell. Oh, I love it. Okay. Awesome. Love it.
That's it. Wonderful.
Yes.
That's you.
Bravo.
Aliberti.
Bravo. Absolutely exquisite. I guess they like us, honey.
Well, we should be back. You know that we've been here for about 3 hours?
That's unbelievable. You guys talk a lot. No.
I guess actually, hey, we had help.
We don't train with the same.
This is a whole circle of it, of love. Right. Me, levity. You guys, and all the levities participating too.
It's and wonderful. People have paid attention to the whole show. I'm really impressed.
They do.
Are all your shows this long? Because I remember watching with June, and I don't remember it being this long.
That was like the first week of the show. That was months ago.
And I saw that show.
This show was designed to be 1 hour. All of them are initially said, a 1 hour entertainment lifestyle talk show series. And then what happens is everybody gets, sometimes if we have a lot of content, but everybody gets so comfortable, all the guests, the viewers, the guests, me, we get so comfortable that it's not an interview. It's a conversation, bringing back the Lost conversation like Cavett would have, Dick Cavett, Susskind, some of these other.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody gets so comfortable that when we look at the clock, none of us, including the guests, can realize the time that has gone by, because it doesn't feel like the length of time, because we keep it moving and flowing, and it's warm and fun, and that's the amazing thing. And we have people that binge watch all the episodes on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. They'll watch, episode after episode. So we tell the guests, we don't have a clock on it. Let us know if you have to be somewhere. And everybody's saying right now, we don't have a limo waiting for us. There's no jet being fueled.
Right.
We're in a pandemic. There's nowhere to go. So we're here. So
how did you get the audience? I mean, the wonderful audience that participates so much. And
I started.
How much did you pay them?
Yeah. Zero. Bubkiss. They found the show, which is really nice. Some of them are people that know me from my work in television and radio.
Okay. All right.
But what happened was we started it about 35 weeks ago.
35 weeks ago.
Right. And I went on, I turned the lights on. We built the home studio here. People asked me for years to create an entertainment lifestyle talk show series, because I've hosted so many shows on television and radio over the years. National, regional, network, local, all of it on radio and TV. So this opportunity for me to do this, I said, you know what the heck? Why don't we do it now? People need some positivity, inspiration. It's a good way to stay connected with everybody, because I balance this with my professional work in television and radio, where I do daily radio shows and TV shoots. And then I do this every single day, at this level of it being like not a podcast. This is like a television show, the way we present it.
Right.
So we created this then, and because so many people asked me to do it, and I turned the cameras on, and I was just doing what I do, hosting. And then people that are on my Facebook page at Jim Masters TV, saw the signal, the stream, and they started watching and started saying, I like this. I like the vibe, the feel. And then they started commenting and telling others and sharing links and spreading. And then we added in the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and people on YouTube that were already there. And then new people started discovering it. So the audience found it themselves. And then I started inviting friends on, like the Junes and others. Said, hey, I'm doing this. We like to pop on. We'll have some fun. We'll chat. And then we do Viewer of the Week, where we celebrate a celebrated viewer who shares the links and spreads the word about the show and all these other great things. And it just blossomed from there. And then everybody started telling everybody about the show. I invited people that I know personally that I've interviewed on television and radio over the years. They have been coming on. Others have been telling people, hey, there's this show, the Jim Masters Show Live. Would you like to go on? And then there's this network of people who've been telling people, and guests will come on, and then they'll enjoy it. They'll suggest, they'll say, I had such a great time on your show, Jim. I think my friend who does this and my colleague who does that, they would love to come on the show as well. So it's like everybody spreading the word about the show. And that's how it continues to grow and blossomed into what it is now.
Right. Wonderful, wonderful. You're doing great.
Absolutely.
You are doing great, Jim, really.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
I like the tone of this is conversational, which is something that we need nowadays because we're just here in dialogue or monologues. And, this is wonderful. The fact that we can do it through the computers or whatever, and through the internet and Zoom or whatever, that we can communicate this way and have a nice chat, and people can, at the same time, jump on board and collaborate with whatever we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Some of them say they watched me on PBS, so they knew me from there.
Right.
I pay them in levity.
Levity. Oh, that is so cute.
Yeah, and they said even the viewers themselves say we get carried away last 5 or 6 hours. So they have so much fun, and
it's like War and Peace,
like you said, and crack, Irish crack. You know what Irish crack is, right? Yeah. That's a word we have to explain on this side of the water, where we say we did crack last night on the show. We have to always explain.
Yeah, I think
Irish, a different thing.
Irish crack.
Correct.
Right.
But you guys were absolutely wonderful. A great afternoon, and you.
Thank you.
Oh, so much fun.
You guys were a pleasure because. Being the host, I'm the conductor, I'm the director, I'm, sailing the ship. But you guys, also the viewers did, I did, and you did. You took the show into different directions with the conversation, which I thought were fantastic. You added in different elements about your lives and about the music and about current events and about just everything that I think really added into creating, which I always strive for, a well-rounded presentation for the viewers with levity, inspiration, positivity, all of it, and the humor between the two of you, and all of this. And that's why we see these kinds of comments. So great meeting you guys, from Marcia, hearts from Janet, Kathleen saying beautiful comments like that, comments coming in, from people like Bernadette saying beautiful things like this. Plus, we allow the viewers to interact. They can ask questions, they can participate. And I've always done that on my professional work in TV and radio. I love viewer interaction. It's kind of like being on a stage where you have an audience and you interact.
Right.
Which I've done, at Carnegie Hall and other places when I've emceed. I love interacting with the audience, and thanks for sharing your music with us.
You're welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you, Allison.
And Mary.
Is there a website where folks can go to a website to follow?
No, but you can look at it. I don't think so. I think that
our websites are going to be redone because they got hopelessly outdated. But you can
look us in Facebook and things like that,
and Instagram, and we're on Spotify and iTunes and all those wonderful outlets. You can find us. So there's a lot of our stuff up that you can readily find if you want to hear some more stuff. Follow Celtic Thunder. Anyway.
Okay.
And got stuck at Jim Masters. Love the show. Oh, that's funny. Oh, well, yeah. So our stuff is very fundable, although our websites are down at the moment. Eventually, I will get them back up. And thank you, Kathy.
Yes, and you know what? We're going to send you. I don't think that you have this Point of Arrabal, Circus of Arrabal.
No, I didn't send the DVD.
No, we're going to send
because that's just way too big to try.
No, we're going to send the actual DVD when we get your postal address. And
so, Jim, you have to send us your postal address.
Right.
I will.
And we'll send you that too. Yeah, I know you do, but that's
you step over my lines like always. No.
I'm sorry.
She always does that. I had class at one point. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum. Let's face it. It was you. Remember, you came to my camerino and said, "This ain't your night."
I just want to know how stiff those drinks are going to be and how tall are those.
I need a transfusion of Bloody Mary. Yeah.
You guys have certainly earned it. Certainly earned it. You know.
There is a Bloody Mary with my name on it.
This really has been fun, though. I mean,
did you enjoy it? Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad I got you clips that you could use too. So well, understood. So hopefully we're going to see you again. Oh, he's doing Bat Masterson again.
Bat Masterson.
Jim Master Show. Jim Master Show.
Love it. Yeah, do we want to end on with anything holiday that maybe you guys can play in unison? Just a little something for the holiday spirit?
We're in different rooms, but we can try.
You better watch out.
You better not pound out, I'm telling you what. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah.
They're good. They'll be good. Just say.
Telling you what, Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't trying to play because of the latency, because I was realizing I was hearing things a little late.
Right.
So, yeah. But yes, that was fun, honey.
Well, I thought about, Santa Claus is coming to town. Why not? Santa Claus and his wife, Merry Christmas.
That's
oh, Lord, Carlos, you need a drink.
Yes, I get a drink and I get serious. I talk about quantum
Santa Claus is coming to town. That's right, true. Well,
hey, Jim, your singing sounded good there.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
I used to sing in choral groups and all. They've been asking me to do that and to strum this thing over here for them on the show. Mm-hmm. And I should do that. I know I'm Mrs. Sebastian in my 4th grade class when we took music. I don't even know if they have music in elementary school anymore.
No,
in New Jersey they do.
This was on Long Island.
In New Jersey, they certainly do.
She said, James, you are an alto. You are an alto.
Okay.
So
at that time, that would have been true.
Yes, right, exactly.
I think things have changed since then.
Well, now you're more a baritone.
I think. Yes,
it's amazing because my voice can go. My voice has an interesting range, and I think what has also, as time has marched on, that has lowered my voice, mm-hmm. which I love, but also I think the years of vocal training, the years being on the air, using the voice as an instrument as well, speaking publicly, being an announcer, being a host, being on the air, also radio, television. I think that has also added in my vocal style. The way I talk is very similar to my father's and also my sister's. People will say things like, gee, you speak with such interesting inflection, the way you punch certain words, and your articulation, everything is so clear. You can go for hours and not hear a lot of ahs or ums. Right. And just continue to roll with it. And then there's a textual quality that has come from, I think, God-given, but also fine-tuning, honing it, as well as...
And the fact that you have to make sense of what you're saying and make it interesting.
So I can go low, or I can go high. So depends on the mood, the hour, and what might be in the glass.
Wow. So that's good. Yeah. You're like Ima Sumac. Ima Sumac was a singer who had like a 5.5 octave range.
Yes.
And some people said they thought that Ima Sumac was actually a woman from Brooklyn whose real name was Amy Camus. It's the same letters you create Ima Sumac and Amy Camus.
Exactly, right. And that's you know, if you have an instrument and you're born with it, as you do, you guys have followed your passions. If before we scoot out, if either one of you were not doing what you do now and have done so much of your life, what would be the other passion you would have done? Like for me, it's been all of this, and I've done this since I was a kid, running around with a cassette tape recorder, talking to people, or the plays my sister and I did in the garages. And I've always been, but at the same time, I studied architecture and design and still have a love for that as well. What would be the other thing Allison would be doing? What would be the other thing Carlos would be doing, if not?
You go first.
This beautiful musical world that you're in, Allison?
Wow. I either would have been a writer, or actually one of the things that has fascinated me a lot for years is law. There was a time when I toyed with, when I lived in London, doing the Open University and studying law, not because I actually wanted to practice it, because I didn't, but because I wanted to know more about it. And particularly where it related to music and musicians and being able to not just contracts, but actually to protect us. And I think that would be one thing I would do. The other thing that if I were doing it now, besides music, I'd study tech more, given the world we live in. And I would really work on my tech skills. I'm good for what I need to do, but there's a lot that I don't know how to do that would be really great if I did know how to do. That would be really useful. Carlos, I think you'd be a physicist, don't you think?
Well, that's one of the things that I love. But I you know, other than music, I think that I would be into films, being a film director. You know, I think that would be a natural thing because I enjoy films very much. I watch 2 or 3 films a day, and I go back to the classics.
You like?
Oh, I go back to the classics, to the film noir. I go back to Citizen Kane. I go back to The Best Years of Our Lives, and you know, some of the wonderful Hollywood films and foreign films.
You know what we watched last weekend?
No.
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Katharine Hepburn and
Spencer
Sidney Poitier.
Yes,
there's some really fabulous music in there, and that song, of course. That's the glory of love.
67.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
67.
It was 1967. It was 67.
Yeah. I mean, The Mask of Demetrius, directed by Jan Negulesco. You know, those films are with Peter Lorre and Sidney Greenstreet, and those films are fantastic. And then you know the foreign films. As I said, Fellini, Godard, Pier Pasolini, Ettore Scola. You know, all those amazing directors, Kurosawa in Japan, and Sergei Eisenstein. We just saw Nikita Mikhailov, Burned by the Sun. And the second and the third movie, because he did a couple of sequels to the original Burned by the Sun.
Right.
Absolutely. Clara, who was a guest on our show, Clara Francesca, I have the biggest professional crush on Allison. Go team, Franzetti. She arrived late. She's going to watch.
I know what that's about.
Clara, if you watch this back on YouTube, you are in for a treat. Get ready to
a long treat
to laugh.
It's a very long treat, but you'll enjoy it, Clara.
Yeah. Potpourri of everything. Really, really is.
I am very thirsty. I have to go.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, absolutely. But Jim, this has been such a treat. Can we do it again?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's a blessing what you just said, because every single guest who's been on has said that. When can we do it again? If you ever have anybody not show up, call us. We'll pop right on. And that's the truth. That really touches my heart to know that people feel that way. And you guys truly, truly, truly are fabulous people. You're very talented. You're very affable. You're funny as heck, and extraordinary. And I'm glad that our paths have crossed via this show. Our wonderful friend June putting us together.
Thank you, Junie.
As well. and we will be together in the same zip code at the same table, hopefully soon, and we'll pour the wine and we'll break bread. I hope the show met your expectations, and I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with all of you.
So much fun.
Totally.
So
and
much fun. Thank you so much.
Message, send us your address, your postal address, and we'll send you this DVD. That is a lot of fun, really.
Oh,
yeah, you'll enjoy it.
We have an orchestra, and of course, you're free to use it. All right, you can select certain things.
And
we own
it in your show.
Yeah, we totally own all of it. So yes, you would absolutely be able to use it.
None of those crazy copyright claims that come in from the.
No, that's why we open our own record company, and we have all these recordings and things that, because otherwise, for several reasons. Because
is there a website where people can go to get that, or is it, you're on Amazon, Spotify?
Amazon's got it all. Amazon's got it.
Yeah.
Amazon's got
is it under your individual names?
Yeah.
We have things that are combined, because we have things that we've done, like this record, for instance, Franzetti plays Franzetti. Obviously both names, and if you go for Allison Brewster Franzetti, you're going to find some of my product there. And if you go to my section in Amazon, you're going to find a lot of Allison there.
But you're also going to find projects that we've each done that the other one's not part of.
Right,
so,
of course.
Yeah. We're not joined at the hip for everything.
No, we're not Aban Costello. We don't have to be together all the time. Or Oliver.
No, but it's so much fun when we are. And it's really true. We do work so well together, and we really enjoy it tremendously.
As evidence in this broadcast.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's it. How many closets have you cleaned during all of this COVID thing?
I don't know, but I remember you have the comedian. What's his name?
George Burns.
George Burns.
Yes. So you're missing Rosie, right? Rosie.
Gracie.
Oh, Gracie. Yes, Rosie.
Rosie.
But we do have Jeannie.
Right.
And we do have Gilligan, which is with love, actually, from Bob Denver's wife, Dreamer Denver, who was a guest on our show. He played Gilligan. We do have the Silver Lab I got on a TV shoot in Europe. That is Silver, the Silver Lab. And we have Jimmy to put smiles on people's faces. There is Jimmy. So and then we actually have a huge panda named Lin that's all the way over there. That's about this big.
And 300 pounds. Yes.
About that. A lot of money to feed. A couple of goodbyes here from the Levities. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Keep healthy.
Bye-bye, Mary.
Thank you both for today. It was certainly a lot of fun and thoroughly enjoyable.
Thank you, Janet.
Stay well. Carlos and Allison sending hugs from Arizona.
Bye-bye, Mary.
Bernadette says, what a treat this was. Thank you, Carlos and Allison. Stay safe and stay well. And Christine Clifton in North Carolina says, thanks, Allison and Carlos, for your musical contributions. It was a real joy to learn more about you both. Here are the beautiful video clips. Thanks for sharing your personal story with COVID. And thank you both. Well now. Thankful that you're both well now. Blessings and levity to you. Wishing you a very happy holiday season as well. Same with Linda and all the levities here.
Wonderful.
So beautiful.
And to the levities, happy holidays.
They love you, Jim.
Absolutely. Stay safe, everybody, please.
We love you guys.
We love you. We'll see we look forward to seeing you again.
You'll be back. We appreciate it.
You don't see me rushing out of here. You see, I'm like glued to the seat.
That's what it is.
I'm going to have to lift him out.
You're going to.
No, I can.
Yeah, there he goes.
All right. So wonderful to see you. All right.
Okay.
You too. Enjoy that drink.
Okay, we will.
Take a nap.
Thanks, okay. Okay, bye-bye, Jim.
Bye-bye now.
I'm leaving like bones of the clouds.
You live on. I love that. We always see empty chair. How many shows have we seen an empty chair? And it's usually because the guest has to run away and get headphones or they have to get something. So I love that. There's the empty chair. Sort of looks like E.T., doesn't it? But it looks like a very comfortable chair. And Allison, thank you. It was a blessing. Take care.
He didn't shut down. I'll shut down. So anyway,
you got to press. Yeah, there you go. She's got a button to press. That's it. And goodbye to Carlos's chair. That was fun. What a hoot that was. Everybody had a great time. They did. You did. I did. Whew, that was an amazing show, wasn't it? Wow. Allison and Carlos were great to end our Thanksgiving weekend. What a real treat and joy. You are very, very welcome. His chair is still there, so we'll help him out and we'll take him out there so that way there he doesn't. Good. So that way there he's gone and he's all taken care of. All right. So our guests were Grammy-nominated pianist Allison Franzetti and Grammy-winning composer Carlos Franzetti. And this was a fantastic show with the Franzettis. Marsha Murphy Watson, great show. A lot of levity, right? Lots of fun, levity. You know, we just roll with these shows. And I always ask the guests, how much time do you have? And so we don't, have them overstay their welcome if they have other things to do. And everybody ends up, some people say a certain amount of time and then they end up going past it because they have so much fun with the show. But we go as long as you guys want to be here, as long as I can still talk. And I'm sitting, so I'll be stretching my legs. We haven't had dinner yet. We'll be having that real soon. And all that other fun stuff. Was like a roller coaster ride, wasn't it? I mean, it was just, they took us in many different directions that I didn't even think we were going to go in. Stories that they shared, I didn't even know we were going to be talking about. But I'm glad we were able to do all that. Thank you, Jim, for another excellent show. I know you strive for that instead of, yes, for excellence. We strive for excellence. This was an awesome show. Thank you, Jim. Wishing everyone a wonderful evening. I'm going to take a look at more of those. I just want to let you know tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be here with Allison Arngrim. Allison played Nellie Olson on the very popular, beloved series on NBC, Little House on the Prairie. She is here tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's right. That's tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then the musical duo of Michael and Marty are going to be here on Tuesday. Going to be an excellent, excellent show. Very excited about that. And then the extraordinary producer and so much more. We're talking about Jerry Goring. He's going to be here on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, the extraordinary Sharon McKnight is going to be here. She is brilliant. Then on Friday, Holly the Maxwell is going to be here as well. We're very, very excited about that. And really, really cool stuff. And again, on Monday, which again, we're very, very excited about, tomorrow, we have, if you remember, the brilliant actress. And she also does a lot of fun stuff as well. Other fun things we're going to talk about with her entire career tomorrow. She's done more, of course, beyond Little House on the Prairie. We are so excited to have the artists that we have coming up, but even just all the great fun we have coming up. Holly V. Maxwell is a music legend. She is here on Friday. On Saturday, live and direct from Ireland, Corner Boy is going to be here. That's going to be amazing. Now, that's Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And not Friday, Saturday. There's so many days and so much going on here. I lose the track here. Let's start from the beginning so we got it all correct. Tomorrow, Allison Arngrim. Then on Tuesday, Michael and Marty will be here. Wednesday, Jerry Goring is going to be here. Thursday, the incredible Sharon McKnight. Friday, music legend Holly the Maxwell. Whew, it's amazing. And then we have on Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, from Ireland, we have Corner Boy. They're going to perform live. And then on Saturday night, so this is Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, we have two-time Grammy-winning songwriter, performer, and producer, Dennis Scott. He is on this coming Saturday, 7 p.m. So that means 2 shows coming your way, 2 shows next Saturday, 3 p.m. live with the incredible, very popular Irish band Corner Boy, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, and England, GMT time, 3 p.m. next Saturday, 7 p.m. next Saturday, two-time Grammy-winning producer, songwriter, and performer Dennis Scott is going to be here. Then a week from today, next Sunday, the 6th, December 6th, the incredible, very popular Ireland's Roy Buckley is going to be here. He's an extraordinary musician, songwriter, singer. That's 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, Ireland, Scotland, and England. That is a week from today. That is on the 6th of December. You can find all of that on our Facebook page at Jim Masters TV to keep track. We also do promotions on Facebook. It's all on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV as well. That's right. On December 12th, Keith Harkin is going to be here, originally with Celtic Thunder. That is the 12th of December. We're looking forward to that. That's going to be really, really cool and really exciting. That's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, England. And Darren Holden's going to be joining us as well in December. Going to be looking forward to that. Paulette McWilliams is going to be with us for a special Christmas show on December 18th. Lady Bain is going to be back on the show with Christmas, and we've got so much more coming up. Let's take a look at some of these great comments. Roy Buckley next week will be terrific. He's personable, talented, and smart. Absolutely. Yes, that's going to be great. She's going to be here. Allison will be here tomorrow. You love the Irish musicians as well. Roy Buckley is going to be terrific. For all the television fans, Little House on the Prairie, you're going to love that tomorrow. Yes, you'll be able to catch it. Everything's archived on YouTube. Looking forward to Allison. Yay. Can't wait to see Allison. She's going to be a hoot tomorrow. Do you know, I have a little story to tell you really quickly about Allison Arngrim. Do you know that her mother was a brilliant voiceover artist? Her mother was the voice of Gumby. This is Allison Arngrim, who played Nellie Olson on Little House on the Prairie. We'll talk about this tomorrow night. Her mother was the voice of Gumby, Casper, and Davy in the series Davy and Goliath. That's right. Her mother did those voices. Gumby, as well as Casper, as well as Davy and Goliath. A little trivia there for you. Amazing. Another great show. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm sitting down and soon I'm going to be standing up. We have to get dinner. It's almost 7:20 here. This is unbelievable. Yes. Can't wait to see. Thanks for all the great comments. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for another excellent show. You saw that one. Thank you, Bernadette. Thank you, Anne. And we're going to be opening that package that you sent tonight. Thank you very much. It smells delicious. There's a wonderful scent coming from that package. Thank you very much, Karen Campbell Green. And I hope you enjoy the time when we're together as much as the guests. Good stuff, good stuff. Oh, wow. How cool. Really? You better believe it. Gumby, yeah. And Casper and Davy. We will. I'm on the radio tomorrow. I've got several radio shows to host tomorrow. Busy week with professional work as well. All right, gang, we're going to sign off. We toast you with some coffee today, Sunday afternoon. Some people are just probably joining us now thinking we're doing our 7 p.m. show. It's actually, we've been on since 4. Don't forget to relax, take care of one another, breathe, love one another, and take care of yourself as much as you take care of everybody else. Breathe from the diaphragm. This was a terrific weekend of great entertainment. Last night, we had brilliant award-winning cellist Stephen Chen with us, dear friend. You can see that full episode. He played live for us. We had some great, and there were some videos. We had a great conversation, and it was terrific. He's on his way from South Carolina back to Baltimore, back to school. And he was amazing. He was simply amazing. Great music this weekend, huh? With Stephen Chen, the cellist yesterday, and then brilliant pianist, Allison Franzetti, and award-winning composer, her husband, Carlos, who they were a real hoot, weren't they? Really, really wonderful people. And have a good night, Jim. Good night, all. You as well. Good night, Mr. Levity. Levity to all of you as well. Thank you very much. You guys are the best. Nice comments, positivity, no nonsense, no bickering, all nice people. You know, this is the no judgmental zone as well here on the show. Nobody is judgmental or says crass comments. It's all positivity and inspiration. And we love that because the guests see the comments too, and other viewers and other people see these comments and watch along. So you guys are so gracious and kind with your fabulous words, and we really appreciate it. We thank Allison Franzetti and Carlos Franzetti for joining us here on the show. Brilliant, brilliant performers and wonderful people. Tomorrow night, Allison Arngrim, who played Nellie Olson from Little House on the Prairie, joining us as well. And don't forget to smile and share the smile with the world. Don't forget to share the levity and find your Zen place. Mine is always the ocean, also with loving family and friends, as well as my career in television and radio and stage and more, and all the things I get to do in my world. And I hope you get to find blessings in your world as well. One of the great blessings is all of you watching the Jim Masters Show live for some almost 35 weeks here, day after day after day. Absolutely incredible. Really special, enjoyable show today. See you tomorrow, Jim. Good night, lovely friends. You as well. Thank you, Christine. Karen Campbell Green. That's what we love about your show, Jim. Positivity and love. Thank you, Karen. And beautiful Nova Scotia. Bernadette, good night, Jim and everyone. And please stay safe and well. You too. Janet, thanks, Jim, for a great show. My pleasure. Your show always lights up my life. Wow, that touches me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And right back at you, as we say, right back at all of you. You guys are the best. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Thank you, Jim, for keeping our spirits up. My pleasure. As long as you're there, we'll continue to be here for you with our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, the Jim Masters Show Live. If you missed anything with this episode or any of our episodes, you can see them all on YouTube at Jim Masters TV, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss anything when we post new content there. It's good to have you on Facebook at Jim Masters TV. If you haven't liked the Facebook page, feel free to do that. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and Twitch, all at Jim Masters TV. If you have a suggestion for a guest, that one's a question for the guests we had on. This one is the suggestion for a great guest. A lot of you have been doing that. And of course, we have a lot of guests that are coming on ourselves. But if you have folks that you think are doing great things in life and they'd make wonderful guests, we have a list of people, and we have a lot of people that have approached us. A lot of people want to come on the show, and we really appreciate that. You can send the guest inquiries to jimmasterstv@gmail.com. That's jimmasterstv@gmail.com. If you have a suggestion for somebody you know who would make a fabulous guest on our show, we really appreciate that, and we love that. And again, many of you have been doing that, and thank you, thank you, thank you. A lot of guests are people that I know personally, friends of mine finding guests, companies that are sending their guests, representatives, and you guys are suggesting guests. And it's just a beautiful thing we've started here, wonderful community. So that's the email address to the show. If you have some ideas, feel free to tell people about the show and spread the levity. That's what it's all about. All right, gang, we are going to sign off. You're going to be howling at the moon tonight. Full moon. That's right. Bye, all. Thank you very much, Karen. Love having all of you here, and love it here. Thank you, Kathleen. Love having all of you guys here as well. You guys, gals, everybody. Absolutely. Nice. Good night, everybody. It's like saying good night on the Waltons, right? Jim Masters, thank you for your time this time. Till next time. Tomorrow we'll be here 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, our regular time, with Allison Arngrim and Ellie Olson from Little House on the Prairie. We'll see you then. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. You guys are the best. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, and we shall see you same spot tomorrow. Good night, all the lovities, and good night, Jim. Love you all. You too, Karen. And peace and levity to you, Maureen, as well. Thanks, gang. Din din time. Din din and Lin Lin. And the rest here, from all of us here at the Jim Masters Show Live, we thank you very much for your gracious words, your levity, and your time and attention. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye.